awesome. You didn't remove TTS channel points? Yeah, it's whatever. It's whatever. So if people want to waste their money on it, then they can just throw money in the garbage can. What else was happening? Oh, I read the new chapter of JJK. Modulo. And now I only get it's only 10 points. Yeah, it's fine. I don't know I don't know how to remove it, honestly. Oh, manage rewards. TTS messages off. Also turn this one off. Also turn Ask Carla off. Add video to queue off. I'll turn DDG off. I'll turn P word off. I'll turn this one off. Bring the bot bet off. I'll leave the rest of these on. I don't save it, do I? Nah. It's fine. Cool. Let's, you know what? Why not just get started on a few Stranger Things videos?
So Stranger Things is officially over. After 10 long years and 5 arguably.
This also came up apparently on my feed too. Obama won't halt deportations of parents of kids brought to the U.S. illegally. Just to see. Oh my goodness! I only get Stranger Things videos or videos of this guy with his terrible hair. And I will not be clicking this. Thank you, YouTube. No, thank you. Don't recommend this channel to me.
Arguably longer seasons, the hit Netflix show finally came to an end just a couple weeks ago. It did not go well.
Were you guys happy with the ending of each of your characters?
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys are better writers than me.
For like a solid week after the finale, it felt like every corner of the internet was
LD like, I'm happy with the end of my character. She's dead. Or maybe she's not. Not even like the character gets closure of like she died trying to protect something. It's like your character may or may not be dead. You don't know, and the Duffer Brothers also don't know. Ella's only not dead if they want her back for a sequel or a spin-off series where she's like an adult. And the Upside Down happens to exist once again, and she just happens to be living in the abyss or whatever. Really, you care more than Duffers.
Was coming out
my
in
characters. I grew up with them. I just learned about them yesterday.
Mass to share their opinions on this final season. Some people praised it, a lot more seemed to despise it, and a concerning amount lost their f***ing minds. Conformity Gate, or the conspiracy that there was a secret 9th episode, took the internet by storm.
Where did the term conformity come from? Like, what? How does it relate to Stranger Things?
Theory to go absolutely nowhere. Now with the release of the season 5 behind the scenes documentary, I'm already starting to see another wave of disappointed fans airing out their grievances, and for good reason. Personally, I didn't love season 5. In fact, I kind of thought it was the weakest by far. But it's not the season itself that's driven me to make this video. It's everything that's happened afterwards.
Like, I really shouldn't have done any of these post-mortem
This is a racket. This channel has 16K and got 1.3 million views. This channel has 1.1 million views. This channel has 200,000 views. Like, this is a racket. I should get on this, chat. I need to post my I just learned about Stranger Things and I already hate the ending video. Post a tree conspiracy? Okay. I should. He is a tree. He is indeed a tree.
I'm not in a good place.
For some reason, the Duffer Brothers, the dudes who made Stranger Things, decided it would be a good idea to go on a tour of what I can only describe as the worst post-game interviews of all time, giving us such gems as Vecna, the guy who can essentially read minds, not expecting a sneak attack. And actually, Eleven couldn't have used her powers to talk to Mike at the end, so who knows what the fuck that was. Now, they've said a lot more than just that. Some would argue too much. And it feels like there's a whole slew of half-baked answers the fans have been getting upset with, but for me, there's one comment that stands above the rest. One answer so egregious that I am making a video on a show I've never even talked about. Something so stupid that, at least for me, pretty much ruins the entire show. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to want to strap in because today we're going to talk about
Heard of the discourse from the report. I heard him talk about D&D. Might be a collab for you too. I don't know. What about D&D? Does he want to play? I'm always down to play.
in the first episode of the very first season of Stranger Things, the character Will Byers gets
just
taken
like you about it. I'm telling you, Chad, it's a great game.
into the Upside Down by a Demogorgon. We know this, it's old news. However, in pursuit of Will, we get this scene. As you can see, the Demogorgon walks up to Will's front door and seemingly uses telekinesis to unlock it from the other side. But there's one problem. Demogorgons explicitly do not possess the power of telekinesis. So the question, for the longest time...
Wait, why do they explicitly not have telekinesis? I'm sure that's a part of the story at some point in the future, but like, just make them have telekinesis. Or, you know what would be a better solution, Chad? Make this Demogorgon the first Demogorgon, the ancient Demogorgon, the only one who is developed enough to have telekinesis. It's still dumb, but like, it's better than what you got.
Was who opened the door.
So Squishy had to give her the 31 months.
In fact, before season 5 even came out, the Duffers themselves went on to draw attention to this question, specifically saying it was a Demogorgon chasing Will, not Vecna, and that Demogorgons definitely cannot magically unlock doors. So now that the finale season is out, who was it? Who opened the door? We don't know. We just straight up did not get the answer in season 5. But in an interview with the creator Pay or Wait, which I will link to below, all credit to her, great interview, the Duffer Brothers had this to say.
We always thought it was a Demogorgon that took him, but Demogorgons, they don't have telekinesis. That had to have been Vecna.
I don't know what to say. But yes, you're very correct. The Demogorgons do not have telekinesis.
That's a confirmation in my eyes. I'm just going to say that's confirmed, okay?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think we can confirm it right now.
You heard that correctly. We just heard the Duffer Brothers confirm that it was Vecna who opened the door. Case closed, problem solved, right? Wrong. There's two major problems with this explanation. The first, and by far the most glaring, is that at this point in the show, Vecna hadn't even been thought up yet. When I was making the script, I researched high and low, and I couldn't find the Duffers outright say when they came up with Vecna, but I did find them saying it definitely wasn't season 1. If I had to guess, it would have been around like season 3 when they realized, oh fuck, we still gotta make 2 more seasons. But, and I want to make clear, as a fan of the show for the past decade, I find the second problem way more offensive. So
yeah, like it being a retcon is like it's whatever, you know. Like, oh sure, they retconned Vecna to be alive and around. I was trying to Stranger Things whole just by not watching the show. I mean, I'm with the conformity gate people, bro. I'm like, boo. Accomplished spellcaster, Demogorgon was capable of innately casting a number of spells, including but not actually to detect magic, dispel magic, fear, people mind, major image projection, and telekinesis. According to D&D Wikipedia. Yeah, but the problem is that they didn't follow D&D logic. So that's kind of the issue. Like, the Demogorgon is not an actual like D&D Demogorgon. The same way that Vecna in the show is not like D&D, you know, pseudo demigod god Vecna. Right? It's just what the main characters call these monsters who they don't know what they are. But these unimaginable, unspeakable horrors. Right? So you can't apply D&D logic to these monsters because they're not D&D monsters. They're just called by D&D monster names. And that is an explicit point in the show. Right? Yeah, the Mind Flayer is not a D&D Mind Flayer. So it would be a lot easier if they just made them the D&D monsters. You feel me? But they didn't. So and then they ascribed specific powers and limitations to these monsters, like they cannot use telekinesis. And they like, and this is the weirdest part, is that they didn't need to write themselves into a corner like this. They didn't need to have the Demogorgon like slide to unlock the door, but it felt right with the horror theme of season 1, episode 1, right? It's that like, oh, there's these magic psionic abilities that are happening. People have telekinesis and things are just opening by themselves, and you know, things are floating and people are disappearing. Like, what's happening? Like, it felt right into horror theme, right? So if you're gonna do that, then don't allude to there being an answer in the show when there's not an answer in the show. But if you're gonna do that, don't make the answer in the show directly contradict what you've already said in the first season in the first place. The Demogorgons don't have telekinesis. Vecna was not around in season 1, right? It was not explained in season 5 how it happened or who did it. And the answer was just, Vecna did it. So.
What is it? We already had an answer to this question, and it was way better than Vecna. Going back to episode 1, there's a few key moments I need to highlight real quick. Number 1, the door gets telepathically unlocked, Will runs out of the house and towards the shed in his backyard. Number 2, despite no one else being home, as Will enters the shed, the door is already open and the light is already on. Number 3, when Hopper goes to investigate the shed, we hold on a frame of what appears to be a knocked over box that had previously been home to sleeping bags. In fact, we hold on this frame twice. Number 4, while sitting in the diner, 11 uses her telekinesis to shut off a fan. Do you see where I'm going with this? Later in episode 2, while looking at a picture of Mike and the gang, 11 is stunned and directly points out Will, to which Mike says,
"You know Will? Did you see him last night?"
After that, 11 flips over a board to try to communicate what the upside down is, placing Will's D&D character smack in the middle. She says, "Hiding." Mike says, "From who?" To which she places next to Will, the Demogorgon. And finally, in episode 3, when asked to bring them to Will, 11 leads the gang straight to his house and proceeds to say, "Here, hiding." If you're at all picking up what I'm putting down, you might have realized I'm talking about the 11 Will replacement theory. Basically, it's the idea that Will was never...
That's a new one to me. That's a new one. The 11 Will replacement theory? Okay, sure.
Realized I'm talking about the 11 Will replacement theory. Basically, it's the idea...
This is not going to become a Stranger Things channel, I promise you. But like, I'm so intrigued. I need to figure out what's going on.
Idea that Will was never the intended target. 11 was. She was probably hiding from the Demogorgon in Will's shed and witnessed him get chased in the crossfire. Rather than draw further attention to herself, Elle, being a scared child, used her powers to unlock the front door, allowing Will to ultimately be taken instead of her. The problem is, I don't really think this was ever meant to be a theory. I think actually, across the first 3 episodes of the first season, as well as the rest of the season, the show very intentionally drip feeds us clues, like the ones I just covered, pretty explicitly pointing out this theory to be what happened. Though apparently, 10 years later, it just isn't anymore. I guess it was just Vecna. He must have remotely controlled the demo and used his powers to open the door. How satisfying is that? God.
Yeah, but like, even if that's the case, then why did they spend so long? Because again, episode 1 is the only episode that I've actually like really seen and paid attention to. Episodes 2 through like 5 or 6, whatever, I wasn't really paying attention. Why was Hopper like looking at like the destroyed box, and like why was the shed such a big thing? It was weird. It's like,
God, I love the Duffer Brothers, and I love... Walking away from Stranger Things after all these years, my biggest question is really, what went wrong? The show started off as this contained mystery sci-fi thriller thing with elements of comedy and horror, and then 2 seasons later we were in full action comedy territory. Season 4 swung back with a good mystery and good horror, but by then the adjective contained was long since not applicable. I think there's something to be said about the MCUification of Stranger Things and the immense quality drop-offs, especially in season 5. But I don't really know who's at fault. Was it the Duffers who openly went into the finale episode without a developed script? May have allegedly used ChatGPT. Was it Netflix who out a developed script? May have allegedly used ChatGPT.
ChatGPT logo? It looks similar, at least.
Was it Netflix who shot down the original idea for the show to be an anthology after season 1? Was it the fans for maybe overanalyzing and setting the expectations a little too high? Is it all three? I don't know. I try to approach my criticisms for movies and television with a level of empathy for the people making it. Funny enough, Sean...
I don't know why I knew as soon as somebody... I knew as soon... I haven't even seen this part of the show. But I knew for a fact as soon as I saw him pick a paper plate and fold it, I was like, he's doing a analogy. He's doing an analogy right now.
For movies and television with a level of empathy for the people making it.
And yeah, that's what he was doing. He was doing an analogy.
Funny enough, Sean Levy, the last victim of my empathy, also worked on Stranger Things. But in this case, I just don't know. I'd love to say the Duffer Brothers didn't just lose the sauce. I'd love to just say the evil corporate overlords squeezed what was once a perfect show for everything it could possibly have, and then some. But when you parade around actively retconning things from the best part of your show, when you retroactively change great, subtle storytelling on a whim, all to justify what was probably 2 seasons too many, my empathy dwindles fast. I think Stranger Things 5 is really a lesson in speaking less and doing more. I wouldn't be making this video if they didn't...
Okay, sorry. We're moving on. I want to watch this video so bad, but like... We'll save it. If we have time. If we have time, get to this. I do want to talk about this video though.
One of the largest financial creators on...
I haven't seen it. So. Did y'all see this? I saw Scully put this in the Discord. D'Angelo Wallace is threatening to be sued by Caleb Hammer. See, we covered Caleb Hammer a few, I think, weeks ago, when he was threatening to sue a different YouTuber for exposing him. And this is kind of, I guess, what he does. Is he just threatens to expose different YouTubers for exposing him or something? I don't know. But there's this video, and then apparently there's another video coming out soon. Probably, hopefully when I'm live. He's gonna make more Caleb Hammer stuff in response. You know what? I'll just play this video. Bro, what is happening? There we go.
On not just YouTube, but the entire internet actually went on live yesterday and told everybody that he's going to sue me. And I don't think anyone realized because the live didn't get that many views, but it's kind of a big deal in my opinion. I may be biased. I don't usually post videos on Sunday. I post on Monday, but the Monday video is what he threatened to sue me over. Okay, here's a little context if you're new to the channel. I live stream on YouTube right here, and then I cut those videos into videos that come out the next day or a couple days after. Yesterday, I went live talking about Caleb Hammer, and before I could even cut this video, he reacted to that live for 4 hours straight. He is in there calling me slurs.
What is wrong? I am slightly curious about like what he was saying. Because Caleb Hammer sucks, obviously. Is that even exposing him? Is just showing us his content that's out there, honestly. Yeah. Let's see. Caleb Hammer. Where's he stream? Does he have a live channel? Yes, he does. D'Angelo Wallace is trying to cancel me. Also, of course, he's the H3 stan. But a Twitch member destroyed by H3 lawsuit. Members only. Oh, he reposted it here.
Someone made a video about us during it apparently, and I heard it was some sloppy trash. So I was like, "Fuck."
Wait, but okay, this is the video of him responding to D'Angelo Wallace. What is his live stream where he responds? I guess maybe this is the live stream. I'm just trying to figure out the timeline here.
He's threatening to sue me.
If you don't think I know how to do legal strategy, you have no idea what's happened behind the scenes. I destroy people. I will destroy you. You don't get to do this without consequences.
Multiple threats to sue me.
Dude, do you not know what you are doing right now? You are literally walking yourself into a law. I'm talking to my lawyers on Monday or Tuesday, whichever one I have more time on.
He's just, in general, it's a crash out of biblical proportions.
I don't want to hear it. You've never helped one person in your damn life, and you'll never be remembered for anything. You have no legacy. You're pathetic. You're a slop commentator. You are nothing. Sit the down, no contributor of anything in this entire world. Shut the up. You were gone for a year and no one cared and no one's life changed.
Also, can I just say, it doesn't even feel like he has that dog in him. You know what I mean? It doesn't even feel like he has that dog in him. I don't even believe what he's selling me right now. You know? Like, am I supposed to believe that he's like angry and upset right now? It doesn't feel like it. It does feel like he's autopiloting to be like, you know, like somebody made a video about me. I guess I have to be mad about it. At least he's slightly racist. I mean, slightly maybe an understatement. We'll see. But yeah, at least be slightly racist. Your life is giving an opinion on a subject you're not even qualified to give advice on. Yeah. At least H3, the rage is believable. Yeah, like at least he's like yelling and he's like, you know, he's not like. It doesn't feel like he's taping the podcast in his parents' basement where his mom gets mad at him if he yells too loud. But it does feel like that for Caleb Hammer, you know? It does feel like for him, he needs to keep his volume down. And so he's like whisper yelling a little bit.
Shut up, bitch.
I'm a little stunned. I won't lie. So this is just a little acknowledgement of that. I'm sort of gathering my bearings and I'm going to put out a slightly more coherent response to that later. In fact, I'm going to post it tomorrow when I would have posted this video that you're watching today. I'm going to tell you right now, that's
today, chat. So we're going to watch that video when it comes out. Hopefully it comes out after we finish this video.
Going to be some sort of back and forth. This is not Kendrick versus Drake, because if it was, Caleb would be J. Cole, okay?
Also, by the way, I was proven right once again. Remember when I talked about Notepad and people were like, oh, I use Notepad++, Notepad++. Well, Notepad++ was compromised at an infrastructure level, and if you downloaded or updated it after September 2025 or before December 2025, an unknown state-sponsored actor has compromised your machine. So I would delete it. If you use Notepad++. What's your problem?
Sean the Black says, she's my African princess.
Voltrana just subscribed.
No. Go sit. Go sit. What's up, Miles? Free next? No. Stop. She needs to be free by going to sit down. Dixie. Come here. Go sit. Sit. Grrr. No. Oh, George. Why'd you jump at me? What did I do? She's biting my arm. She's like an attack dog, bro. What is wrong with you? Hey, baby girl. You okay? You chill? You relaxed? Sure. Sure. Let's continue.
Don't know what he thinks this is. It's not that. So you go ahead and watch this video. I'm going to leave it up to you to decide if you think this is worth suing me over. And then tomorrow, in about 24 hours from right now when this video goes up, I'll come back and we'll talk about some other things. I didn't have time to get into this video, but oh, if you want to sue me over this, you're going to hate tomorrow's video.
Wait, did he go live? This is a 4-hour stream he cut down.
Video, Caleb. Anyways, enjoy. Unless you're Caleb Hammer, you are not going to enjoy this. I'm just going to be honest with you, brother. All right. Anyways, bye, y'all. Thank you for watching. Or hi. Caleb Hammer is like, if everything wrong with YouTube was a person, I think it would actually be this dude. Have you heard about that finance guy who everybody keeps saying is posting really weird misogynist content disguised as finance? That's bro. So if I had to sum him up, I would say he's known for straight talking, like financial advice, despite not seeming to have too many qualifications. But you know what? I don't either. So I can't speak too much to the financial side of things. All I can say is that his content goes crazy. 2.8 million subscribers is a lot, obviously, but it's actually the fact that dude has 2.9 billion views. This is actually one of the most viewed channels I've ever talked about. He's constantly.
But I wanted to see if he made a stream about what he's talking about today. But yeah, and everybody wants to do my method that I didn't make up, I stole. Which is stream, multi-stream onto YouTube, and cut streams down into YouTube videos.
Going viral, and it's not even just on this platform either, right? If I pull them up on TikTok, you've got 179 million likes. That's not even saying how many people have actually viewed this content on TikTok. So the first thing that was obvious to me before I did any sort of research was Caleb Hammer clearly has a packaging problem. Whenever he's talking about
being a mediocre white guy is the ultimate superpower. Being a mediocre white guy is the ultimate superpower. They just throw views and money at you for no discernible reason.
Yeah, kind of.
A woman. The video titles are actually insane. So here's a man, for example. He says, arrogant freak thinks he knows more about money than me. So for the dudes on the channel, they may get called arrogant freaks, right? They may get called kind of dumb or whatever. How come whenever he has a woman on the channel that he's not rocking with, you get titles like dumb, spoiled B-word? I effing hate her. First of all, I didn't really know you could name a video I effing hate her and put the B-word in the thumbnail and gets 600,000 views, but you can. It's like, oh, he did this one time. No, you've also got really fun stuff over here. Fun, heavy quotes. Like, I kicked off his B wife. It's really, 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 really common. He's aggressive. He's nasty in the way he talks about these people. I've never hated a more vile piece of trash. Goth freak. Oh, wait. And of course, we do have septum piercing freak. So from one septum piercing freak
he's
to
white people's Kevin Samuel. I said it before and I'll say it again. He's white people's Kevin Samuels.
Another. I'm sure this is not going to be an excruciating watch at all. Someone said incel vibes for sure. Oh, just you wait. Anyways, it is absolutely a gender bias. You have this dude on here, right here on the left, who is actually a deadbeat. I went through this episode. Bro is a freeloader out here wasting his partner's money, spending it all on OnlyFans.
And Caleb Hammer, he's not gay. He categorically is straight. And he will threaten to sue you. Not for calling him gay, but for saying that he's a disgusting piece of human garbage.
The video is named Financial Audit's First Affair. You don't get any of this insane language. But then you take a woman who it really seems like her biggest sin was actually just being annoying? Question mark? And she is the one who gets called the dumb spoiled B word. He effing hates her, etc. Essentially, this dude is making anti-SJW content.
We don't listen to people that look like you anymore. I don't know if you know this. You've lost all the power.
What does that even mean? Is it a woman thing?
No, SJW thing.
So you're sexist.
that I said SJW. Is that women?
Well, I mean,
Yes, Caleb. SJW does mean woman. SJW means woman, person of color,
he's doing
queer
SJW,
person. Any
SJW content in 2026, bro. 2025, 2026. He's saying what you said months ago. Yeah, because I keep my ear to the pulse about these things. I keep my ear to the pulse about these things.
sort of possible minority just gets labeled
Who
an
do I not
SJW
like today, because you're gonna find out in 6 months you're a terrible person. Let's see. I mean, Hutch sucks, so that's not a surprise. Box sucks. I have to think about it. I have to think about it. I know him when he was harassing Frogan and Denims. Yeah. Sucks. Especially the Caleb video maybe last year, and I was so put off immediately. I don't know how people watch that. People like people being messy. So they view what he does as like, you know, messy drama content. Everybody loves drama content. But he does it in a way that's like so mean-spirited and unproductive. So that's that. I don't know. I have to think about who I don't like. I called out the Democrats for funding ICE. And then people were like, oh, how dare you do this? This is what I said on my Twitter at one point. Yo. It was like 2 days ago. Or 3 days ago. I said, like, you funded this when it was ICE in Minneapolis. And people quote tweeted me and being like, oh, well, actually, when the one big beautiful bill passed, not a single Democrat actually voted for it. So what are you talking about? Not even getting to the fact that like Democrats funded this when they were in power, right? In 2020 and 2024, right? Like the Democrats immediately, like a day later, reached a deal to temporarily fund the Homeland Security, to kick the can down the road about Homeland Security's funding in a separate bill that they're going to cave on. Of course they are. And I said, but when I said this, everyone got mad. And this got 14,000 likes. And then, oh, Chucky. Also, okay. Did y'all see Will Stancil? I think I talked about it briefly, but Will Stancil also fell out of favor, which is why you never hand it to a quirked up white boy, because he will let you down. He will indeed let you down. But it's also this from the Democrats, from Chuck Schumer. I have many jobs as a leader, and one is to fight for aid to Israel. All of that aid that Israel needs, I will continue to fight for it. We deliver more security assistance to Israel, our ally, under my leadership than ever before, and we will keep doing that. Awesome. Thanks, bro. Just what we as a Democratic Party need.
It is so easy to fight for aid to Israel, all the aid that Israel needs. I will continue to fight for it. And we delivered more security assistance to Israel, our ally, under my leadership than ever before. We will keep doing that, everybody. It is so important to give Israel what it needs and to protect itself from the many in that difficult region who want to wipe Israel off the face of the map. We have to do everything to do that. We have to do everything to ensure that the delicate ceasefire secured last year paves the way to lasting peace, where people can live side by side, as many have mentioned, in a two-state solution. The fight for aid to Israel, all the aid that Israel needs. I will continue to fight for it.
Thanks, bro. Hold on, I'm making a tweet. Schumer in the files. Honestly, I think he's doing this for the love of the game. I think he's doing this for the love of the game. He's old. He's stuck in his ways. He's like, when he joined Congress, he got a booklet saying rules and behavior, what you can and cannot do. And the first number one line was always support Israel. And he was like, well, this is the first thing I've learned, so why would I change it? Anyway, let's get back to D'Angelo. We can talk more about Schumer and Israel and the stranglehold that U.S. politicians have.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist. Okay. I live when I believe.
Danny Artemis just subscribed.
Just
11 months
insanely
for running in between classes. Iron.
Like, this is how you know it's bad, because like they're not even appealing to the right wingers, because right wingers also don't like Israel, because like independents don't like Israel, conservatives don't like Israel, leftists don't like Israel, liberals don't like Israel. Like, they're not appealing to anybody. They're just like, yo, we have to love Israel. Why would we not? That's a non-starter. They didn't stay for the 11 months. Much appreciated.
You for merely existing. But hold on.
I don't know what SJW is, but
Social
you like to
justice
talk
warrior?
over women all the time.
I talk over everybody, including myself.
You can't talk over yourself.
Oh, yes, I do. And that's why I flubbed so many words.
If you're thinking to yourself, he sounds stupid. I have so many clips of this man, not too many. He sounds stupid in every single one of them, while simultaneously saying stuff that is equally harmful. It's actually pretty painful.
I talk faster than I think. I don't know what I'm saying half the time.
Well, then maybe you should stop and think for a minute.
We don't listen to people like you anymore. We really don't. You guys have no power. You guys were like 0.5% of the population.
He actually sounds like a toddler. We don't listen to people like you anymore. He kind of sounds like an SJW. He kind of sounds triggered. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. So what with him being anti-SJW content in the year of our Lord 2026, what does that mean exactly? You're thinking, well, they must have evolved some kind of way if we've been doing this for like 10, 15 years, etc. No, it's the same thing. It's taking people who use different pronouns, who look different ways, and presenting them to your audience as if like, oh, you're an absolute freak. Here, I've got the goth freak for you right here.
I mean, I do identify as it as well.
Do you actually?
I accept all pronouns, you know. Yes. So the theme, Twilight Wedding.
Oh my goodness, you try to get woke.
Oh my god, this goth freak. She uses multiple pronouns. She likes Twilight. Look, is that a septum piercing? At this point, some of you may be wondering, what does this have to do with finance? This is ostensibly a finance channel, helping people get their lives together, helping people get their money together. But no, you get stuff like this, inviting the most out there people you can find. I'm not even talking about out there in terms of presentation. It's more so getting people who actually are toxic and labeling them, oh, you're LGBT. $369,000 of LGBTQIA plus debt. He's just bad with money and not nice to his partner. Why are you making this a gay thing? Because you're homophobic. Earlier this week, we were already talking about the resurgence of the R slur. If you're wondering the trickle-down effects and what kinds of people are pushing this, it's people like this. So here he is talking to a woman about her autistic child.
That has like, so.
She's not.
Well, but you're getting payments.
No, it's not payments.
She just keeps throwing her bone around. Look at her. What is she doing? What are you doing? Stop. Stop. Hey. Hey. Come on. Ready? Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Thank you. We're good now. Problem solved.
It's to help with her. It's to help her learn how to be a person and like help her function, you know, and like how like she's got.
You don't have to explain it. I'm sorry that this is happening to you.
Hear it. Hold on.
She's not.
Whoa, that's not a bad.
Have to
be a person. Payments. It's to help with her. It's to help her learn how to be a person and like help her function, you know, and like how like she's got.
You don't have to explain it. I'm sorry that this is happening to you.
She's not.
Whoa, that's not a bad thing.
Here we get this weasel behavior that you get with all dudes like this, where they can't actually stand tall in their douche hood, if you will, and it has to be like, oh, I wasn't being bad. I wasn't saying it bad.
You're so mean.
Well, no,
My
I was meaning it in the clinical. The clinical sense is mental retardation.
Autism is not mental retardation. There's two. That's two. I'm not going to comment on that.
Infuriating. We get the point. Also, his stupid excuse that like, oh, this is just the clinical term. He literally comes right out about 6 minutes later and admits why he actually said it. Bro, you can't even keep your story straight here.
I'll call her, trigger some people in the audience. I don't care. That's all hee hee ha ha.
It is literally just to trigger people. So, I mean, have we already sort of covered like homophobia, ableism in here, misogyny? I don't even think I've showed you guys a sum total of 2 minutes of this guy's content at this point. It's funny, I could almost end the video here. I think some of you are like, D'Angelo, please end the video.
People like enjoy Caleb Hammer's content, you know? Like he hasn't even gotten to like D'Angelo Wallace hasn't even gotten to like meat of his content. Right? It's all been like rhetoric and optics so far. You know? It's all been rhetoric and optics so far. But like we haven't even gotten to why his content itself is bad. He tries to say he'll get laughed out of court. Well, the idea is not actually to win. The idea is to financially cripple whoever you're trying to sue. It always is with people like this. He's the same as Ethan Klein. You know? If Ethan Klein wins or doesn't win, it doesn't matter. His goal is to cause terror. His goal is to make people afraid of him. Right? If he does win, then it's good for him. You know, he's up. He doesn't win, who cares? He's a millionaire. He could afford to lose a few lawsuits. You know? That's kind of it.
I live like a
capitalist.
I think about 2 months.
I live
Much
as a
appreciated.
capitalist.
I have more points to make. Any one episode of the show essentially has all the problems happening at once. You don't have to like scroll through this guy's channel and try to build a picture of who he is. You can literally just watch 5 minutes and see. He's a massive creep when it comes to anytime he has a woman on as a guest. It's not just that he's being misogynistic. He's also just so icky. We're 59 seconds into this video. Mind you, this is actually among the first things he's about to say to her.
Am I able to consent to roast you and whatnot and stuff before I go into this whole thing?
Absolutely.
Okay, then why the f are your tits pointed to the ceiling? And then why this? Because
you never seen a goth person?
The idea of actually commenting on somebody's body like this within a minute of encountering them is wild to me. I don't know how much strange content you have to be consuming on a daily basis where you're like, this is appropriate person material.
Sorry, it's not pertinent to the video itself. Hasan said something about dealing with this a few days ago before he was banned. And I was driving, so I wasn't paying that much attention. But after he said it, like the chat lit up with sad cowboys. And honestly, that made me proud. That made me proud. Now all we do is we have to get the mods of Hasan's chat to enable sad cowboy as a channel emote. so not only my subs can use it. It's so funny. First ideas mentioned. It's such a funny picture, bro. I'm telling you, I remember when I first saw it, I was dying laughing. I was dying laughing. I still do whenever I see it.
I'm gonna mention your body. No, dude. God, this is such weird this is such weird content to be the meta right now. It is so weird that this is the meta. Also, we have this really painful conversation about being alt.
You know what's funny? The shade name is Clown White. So we love that. I mean, if you look at the alt community, it's hard to find a good alternative community like Gothic.
There's an alternative community.
Are you
a
that
community
dense?
that
Like,
is just alternative? Well, isn't like everyone alternative?
I mean, I guess you could
alternative
argue that.
to what?
He's so stupid. He's not only stupid. It's not the kind of stupidity where you can just write off everything he does as, oh, he's harmless because he's not very smart. He is pretty harmful, and also
it's kind of like when people say like, what do you mean the black community? Black is a color. He's like, okay. And again, I don't think he's stupid. I think he's malicious. Well, okay, I think he is stupid. I think he's also malicious, you know? Like, I think he goes out of his way. Because using context clues, you can figure out what alt means. You know? Like, he could do that if he wanted to. But it's a part of his content to position who he's talking to as being, you know, weird and quirky and a freak and not normal. You know what I mean?
MindFad just subscribed.
MindFad, thank you for the prime. Much appreciated.
Such an idiot. As she said, are you dense? Also, as somebody who is part of the alt community,
Also, Fault Runner,
if you're
thank you for the
clicking
prime
this
as well.
video,
Also, chat, a hype train is incoming. So if you want to drop a hype train, I'd appreciate it.
and you're like, oh, what's going on with the hat? I purposely dressed a little bit more alt than usual just for this video. I want to stand in solidarity. I am in solidarity with Goth Freak. Can we please stop making fun of people for things that don't matter? You can put on clown makeup all you want, and I still struggle to understand what any of this has to do with finance. I think maybe the thing that's so fascinating to me is back when,
I do
unfortunately,
think that like one, you were allowed to be cringe, but like I don't think making fun of cringe is like inherently like, you know, inherently mean spirited. But like, I think what Caleb Hammer is doing is not that. He's not like being like, oh, I mean, that's kind of cringe. I don't really understand it. I still think it's making fun of cringe is also cringe in and of itself. But like, Caleb Hammer is not making fun of cringe. He's being a bully. You know? Starting off your conversation with a fan of yours by being like, why are your tits pointing to the ceiling? It's like, that's not like, you know, typical like 2016, oh, Rice Gum, this is these kids must be stopped, this is cringe, Jacob Sartorius kind of thing. This is like a mean-spirited thing. Saying someone joined something is cringe is just bullying? Not necessarily. I don't think that's inherently bullying. Right? Can it be not nice? Sure. But I don't think it's inherently bullying to say. I think that's a little bit cringe. You know? It's cringe to put other people down for liking something, even if it's not commonly said that they're cool. I've never been able to find people being themselves to be cringe. I just don't know how to navigate that. I mean, I don't disagree. But like, I don't think it is inherently because everybody has different tolerances for what they think is like cringe or not. Cringe is a subjective term. It's not like objective descriptor of like what somebody's content is, you know? It's like, I don't think it is inherently like a, again, it's mean. It is mean. Things can be mean without being bullying. But like, I don't think the term cringe is inherently bullying. It is mean though, for sure.
I was radicalized by anti-SJW content like 10 years ago. The people making it at least try to seem cooler than the people they were talking about. It didn't work. And you would only really seem cooler to a teenager or like a deeply uncritical person. But yeah, I think this doesn't work anymore. People have voices. No one even gets triggered. She's not actually mad. I think even the other woman was very calmly explaining, like, why are you talking about people this way? You shouldn't be using slurs to refer to people who have autism. But because he is like going there, if you will, you have all these people sort of hailing him as like the resurgence of anti-SJW content. Nature is healing. And I mean,
that's so funny because he's like, I don't know. I feel like we've circled back around. It used to be like if you were like anti-SJW, you were like a Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, like you were like ugly on the inside and out, and like, but you were like seen as like logical or whatever. Mags don't care about your feelings, kind of thing. And then you got to like the Andrew Tate of it, where like you saw, instead of it being like incel 4chan culture, now you saw misogynistic, alpha male, like anti-SJW culture. Manosphere stuff. And now we circle back around to ditching the alpha male stereotype to seeing this like soft boy aesthetic, uncool, also ugly person, positioning himself as like better. Right, so we're going full circle back into anti-SJW territory for people who have no right to speak on that.
I'm being so serious, by the way. Like, hold on. Look at some of these comments right here. Imagine looking like this and thinking you're right about anything. 2025, 12/15. Someone posted this picture like 6 weeks ago, not in 2015. This is why I'm making this video. It's a mix of me obviously saying, hey, I'm really unhappy that this content is outperforming everybody, but also I am actually genuinely incredulous that anybody would be like, oh, you have colored hair. You're wrong about everything in the entire world. They no longer have any power. Nobody cares anymore. Caleb Hammer became popular not only because he's good at finances, but it's because he doesn't sugarcoat things. Oh, look at this. The mental illness is strong in this one. We live in bizarro world. I watched this content die out. I watched it die out. I was there. I was aggressive at that time, trying to deprogram myself and disconnect and start calling people like this weirdos. And this content did get smaller and smaller. It absolutely got more insular. I was there, and now I am watching it swing back into existence. America is healing because we're back to saying that dyeing your hair makes you a triggered SJW. This hurts. I'm sorry, Goth Freak. I gotta stop calling her Goth Freak. I just find the term really funny because it's not like offensive. What is the like moral failing of being a freak?
Next.
I fail to understand. He calls her boyfriend in this clip because she tells him that she's in an open relationship with her partner. And this is how that goes down.
So are you okay with your woman looking like this?
I mean, it's once in a while.
Told you it was a simp. And what do you think about her going out there and slapping flaps behind your back while you're not going out there and having any fun?
Is it the 50s? Does a man's opinion have anything to do with how you choose to present at this point? Anyways, I find this to be absolutely fascinating of how Caleb is going to try so hard to make this look stupid, to make her look stupid, to make this guy look like some sort of whatever. And it just doesn't work. All that happens is he commits cringe and dies on camera every single second. It's a new death of Caleb Hammer.
She's fucking pussy and you're not.
Yeah, we've been known about this.
Yes, I'm trying to get you. Stop talking for him, you domineering dude. I'm trying to understand his opinion from his mouth.
All right, talk to him.
She's going out there and fucking women. You're not.
Well, I mean, you have higher sex drive than I do.
Yeah, I do.
So,
That's the thing.
Where is the issue? I'm struggling. I think we watched him try to force this issue like 3 or 4 times in a 30-second span. He knows, she knows, and he is not in their relationship. So how does any of this matter? Literally at all. Also, he's racist. So the boyfriend in question is Vietnamese. And upon seeing a picture of him for some reason, Caleb immediately...
I told you. I said, give it a second. I said, give it a second.
Reacts this way, which I find to be so strange.
Look at that. Look how different.
Oh my gosh.
That was in Vietnam. He proposed to me in Vietnam earlier this year.
Oh, he's such a little gay boy.
A little gay boy?
Yeah. Colton, look at him.
You're one to talk, love. You're one to talk, love.
Why?
Why? I don't know. I'm sorry.
Why are you assuming that I'm gay? People say I'm gay all the time, but
I feel like so many things just happen in a 20-second span. Where do I start? I've commonly seen that emasculation of
I do
Asian men.
love that, like, he calls her boyfriend gay based on nothing but the way he looks, and then he gets offended when she calls him gay. Like, he literally just did that to somebody else. Like, just did. And he's like, well, why are you calling me gay? People say that I'm gay all the time, but like, why are you saying that about me? Like, you just did it to somebody else.
And is a problem and is rooted in racist stereotypes and misunderstanding of what masculinity looks like in other places. I am not the one who could sit here and tell you, oh yeah, looking at a random person who committed being Asian and calling them gay is racist. I'm sort of from the outside trying to largely point at what's going on here. But if that somehow was literally not enough, he just starts going down the list of the normal things that people do, or the more obvious things that people do when they're trying to be racist.
No, he was born in Vietnam.
okay. Does he know what you're saying when you propose these plans?
Yeah, I do like
Oh,
children.
he's just a little gay, fat Vietnamese guy that has a domineering clown goth woman.
I'm not a psychologist. I'm not an expert on projection. I'm really not. I'm just going to say
He's just a little gay, fat Vietnamese guy that has a domineering clown goth woman.
I'm not going to call it projection because I don't know what's going on here and I don't want to know. All I'm saying is anytime I see somebody drawing like 50,000
literally nothing
conclusions about something out of thin air, I'm just like, where is this coming from? Caleb, where is this coming from? He would be a little happier if he realizes there's nothing wrong with being a fat gay person who wants to be dominated by whatever. Like, my brother in Christ, this is not it. I say this not to actually make assumptions about his sexuality, which I don't know or don't care.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm not even a big
Love that he got offended. She assumed he was gay when he did the same thing to her partner who wasn't even in the room. Exactly.
fan of implying that anytime somebody is being homophobic, they're actually gay. That's not my point. I think y'all understand my point. Everything about this man is some sort of strange projection. It's fake. It's phony. It comes across really poorly. And then he just goes on and mocks the guy's accent.
I'm just seeing the picture. To be very clear, it's just you have an idea and he's like, okay.
No, why does he have that accent?
Because he was born and raised in Vietnam.
Well, first of all, he moved here when he was like 11. So he's been here longer in the United States than in Vietnam.
Right.
By like,
which means they usually still have an accent sometimes.
We're done. I'm closing it. I'm closing the tab. I'm not done with the video.
He's like, please just let me be racist. Let me be racist real quick. She's like, why did you do the voice? He's like, well, he has an accent. He was born in Vietnam. She was like, well, no, he's lived here for longer than Vietnam. He probably still has an accent. They have accents. They usually still have accents.
Video, but we're done with this interaction. I can't do it anymore. I'm out. But he's a finance channel though. He's a finance channel. Okay, so this is the part where we enter the actual Twilight Zone. When I tell you all you have to do is go to this channel, hit oldest, and get a completely different human being. He's the same dude, obviously. Nobody can go this downhill in 3.5 years. When I tell you though, everything about the way he presented himself 3.5 years ago, it's two different channels. So his content was actually finance stuff. He was talking to people like a normal human being talks to people. He didn't even sound the same. Some of this is just on camera awkwardness,
Did he do a
and
pirate
that's
software
fair.
thing where his voice changed?
That's fair. But some of this is like, there's no way this is the same dude.
I could not be more grateful to everyone who's made this first month absolutely amazing. Celebrate with me by giving this video a like so that YouTube...
Who is this? No, I'm telling you, this is Twilight Zone stuff right here. Let me pull one of the clips where he's actually interacting with somebody, and you're going to be shook because they're actually talking about finance here.
Oh, good question, chatter. Would you be open to making a video about H3? Please, D'Angelo, please. Please, somebody needs to do it. Somebody needs to do it.
Finance
you
here.
Have 2 lawsuits? Listen. You know, you used to be an H3 orbiter. Probably before H3 crashed out. That's why I don't know if it'll happen. I don't think he would be like against it from what I've seen, but who knows?
Today we'll be meeting with Clayton, but I did see something on here that made me very happy. That's a lupe tortilla.
I go there every Friday.
Every Friday, really?
Yeah.
Dang. I love lupe tortilla. I really do.
Yep.
I've been trying to tell y'all that this is actually a form of performance. All of it. Every single aspect of it. None of it is real. You have people like this.
He didn't look at the DoorDash and was like, or the fast food was like, why are you eating out? You're poor. You should be eating rocks and dirt. He was like, oh, I love lupe tortilla. That's a cool thing. It's great. Oh, he didn't call him fat? Yeah, it's crazy.
Who are a little awkward, a little uncomfortable, maybe even have some snippet of good intention.
The restaurant's called lupe tortillas, so they sell other stuff, probably the stuff that they put in tortillas to make tortilla dishes, you know, like tacos and burritos and quesadillas and stuff like that. They don't just sell they don't just sell tortillas.
Or something like this. And they realize, oh, here is a way to be that is about putting other people down. It's not actually about addressing anything that is bothering me, et cetera, et cetera. So no, like, dude, when I saw what his older content was like, I was like, I could have told you he was a fraud, but I didn't think it was to this extent at all. That is inceldom though, by the way, like doubling down on, I'm actually just going to start being really hateful to women because that's easier than working on anything that has to do with myself. Nasty. But yeah, when men finally learn that misogyny is not a shortcut to appearing masculine, we will finally be on the way to freedom. And then when men finally learn that actually appearing masculine
I don't necessarily know if he cares about that. Is that crazy of me to say? Like, I'm not saying that like D'Angelo is like fully incorrect or anything, but I don't think he cares about like being masculine or coming across as masculine or things like that. I think it literally is. I think he's misogynistic. I think he hates women. I think it's a money play. Him being inflammatory makes him more money, so he just is inflammatory. You know?
A joke and not necessary or important at all will be free, but we're not there yet. So look at this. Everybody was really happy to see his growth in the beginning. Caleb just featured on Graham Stephan's channel, and you have Caleb right here on Reddit. By the way, Caleb's account, his Reddit account is going to come back up because there's some stuff there that's like, brother, no. Caleb went on this dude's channel, Graham Stephan. You have someone on Reddit complaining that they don't like Graham's YouTube thumbnails or his packaging, and this is Caleb's response to that. I don't want to get into the negative convos, but I feel I should respond to this. The platform essentially forces content creators to create these kinds of thumbnails, referring to Graham's thumbnails. And once you know which thumbnails work, you are forced to use them. So says Caleb 3 years ago. If you use something that does not get an instant amount of certain clicks within the first hour, your video will not be put in front of people. Trust me, creators do not enjoy this, but we are forced to play the game. Somebody right here said, that's what the Nazi said too. I'm going to leave that comment in the air. It's funny because Caleb wasn't even talking about himself. At this point, when Caleb posted that, his thumbnails were fine. These are okay. But the idea that he actually has to do this now. Dun dun dun. Y'all look like corpses in these thumbnails. Anyways, look, you have people 3 years ago seeing Caleb pass 1 million views, getting really happy for him, getting 1 million views on one video. He barely has 250,000 subs. And Caleb's over here saying, so blessed for all the support. People saying, you've got this, you deserve it.
Dang, why are my fans
But then you
not like
have
that?
this Reddit user.
That's rough.
You're saying, nice. Do you have any thoughts about why this one in particular has had the most views? Maybe the internet likes to see pretty blonde women get berated? Lol. I find this to be a fascinating story because every single piece of what's currently happening right now was foretold. You got people telling him, bro, you...
All right. I don't need your fake support now. I don't need your fake support. Get 1 million views first? That ain't happening.
Saying I'm just following orders has historically been a really horrible way of making decisions. Hey, that's kind of weird actually that the first time you ever popped off is because you seem to have framed this video really negatively against a woman. It's fascinating. I don't usually like the word fascinating because it makes everything I say sound like a science experiment. It's fascinating though, in a vacuum, while also still being pretty serious. I also just feel like he sold these people out to get all the way up to 250,000 subscribers and then realize like, oh, I can just switch into all this nasty stuff because it works better. How was that initial 250,000 subscribers supposed to feel? We have the answer. His early audience genuinely hates the stuff that he's doing right now. His mods go crazy.
You know who else that sounds like, chat? What other YouTuber whose early audience has left their community or has stayed around but hates the new type of content that they do because it's all just mean-spirited and bullying content from a mediocre white man? Shot in the flag. I'm not a mediocre white man. If anything, I am a above average white man. Okay, put some respect on my name. Epic meal time. Okay, maybe. There's obviously Ethan Klein during Black History Month. Listen, if I'm any type of white man, it would be an above average white man. I will never be a mediocre white man. Don't put that on me.
Crazy deleting any and everything on his subreddit. You have people talking about his course. He was trying to sell everybody a $1,000 course, which we'll get into in a second. And sorry, this post has been removed by the moderators of Caleb Hammer. But
and moderators removing any posts that are slightly critical from the subreddit. So there has to be a secondary subreddit that pops up to talk about what you can't talk about on the main subreddit. I wonder what that sounds like. Who that sounds like. Sean the above average white man. I'm telling you.
Have people still in the comments like, nah, this is questionable. This course is weird. Smells like a grift to me. He's a sellout. It's frustrating to hear.
Hold on, I can read this. Give me a second. Anata na ra. Hold on. I'm reading it. Anata na ra de ki mas yo. It's been freaking years. Good job. Thank you. Thank you. Indeed. Matashi wa star. Duolingo working for me 2 years later. Because I'll start studying Japanese together. I'm going to Japan this year or next year. No, I want to go before I retire from streaming, so I have to go this year. Above average Japanese man as well. Some would say.
Him using language that sounds like the financial grifters on YouTube. Baby, he is the financial grifters on YouTube. I'm gonna tell you right now. They delete stuff about his content in general. Caleb has jumped the shark. I think it's become more of a drama channel than anything. Sorry. This post has been removed by the moderators of Caleb Hammer. This next one is actually funny. This next one is actually genuinely funny to me. They also delete posts of people rightfully upset at their deleting posts. Caleb and his team are actively suppressing negative comments on the investing program on his channel. Sorry.
And listen,
this post has been...
Obviously, nobody likes snark pages. You know what I mean? Obviously, it would be beneficial to the entire world if there was like not dedicated places to like hate on specific people. But when you are being harmful, right, and doing harm, and you are banning your fans who are talking about that harm, what's the next logical step except for them making their own community where they're at least allowed to talk about their issues? You know what I mean? Depends on who is in the burn. But no, I mean, I think holistically snark pages are not like productive, right? But they are bred out of the conditions that are created by, you know, a lack of allowance for like discourse per se. For a lot of them, not all of them obviously, but for a lot of them. When you try to sound criticism, the worse it gets, to be honest. Yeah, because you'll always have as a creator a base of haters that will hate you for no reason, right? Or maybe for legitimate reasons, but hate you like more than is necessary, right? But it only really becomes a problem when your fans right, who are the most dedicated to enjoying your content and liking you, right, are pushed out of your space for being and having legitimate criticisms. And then they become like very, staunch haters. You know? Because like there's one thing to have haters who don't really watch your content, who just don't like you or your vibe, versus people who are fans of yours who are like, yo, I like this person, I like what they've got going on, but I'm not a fan of the way that they treat their fans. And then you're turning the people who, had a lot of energy for supporting you into rabid haters. Right? And you can mitigate that. You're never going to remove that, but you can mitigate that by not stifling legitimate discourse and legitimate criticisms about you from these spaces.
Been removed by the moderators of Caleb Hammer. He essentially just ignored them or tried to minimize them and put them in a box, or essentially kick them out of the community and be like, okay, well, it's not about you guys. Thanks for the money. But now I figured out spam the hate woman button is going to get me way more support than y'all could ever give me. I find that to be really, really, really gross. When he first started, he used to mock these courses, lol. He's literally the epitome of what he once mocked. If you're like, okay, well, D'Angelo,
is he inconsistent? Like these people like this are just inconsistent. That's it. They are inconsistent. They don't believe anything. They don't have any beliefs. They're inconsistent.
At least helping the people on the show? Obviously the answer is no. But I really like this person who did an AMA. They were asked like, hey, how much of the conversation did you feel was for entertainment value versus concrete advice you took Hasan into the future? How much of the conversation?
Because apparently Hasan is nasty. Hasan gross. Dang. Daniel's audience does not like Hasan.
Did you feel was for entertainment value versus concrete advice you took into the future and your finances? And they said, I technically wasn't doing that bad financially. He had to, quote, find other things to push back on that weren't necessarily conducive or productive. Someone said, if you could go back in time and never appear on the show, would you? And they said, yes, because I didn't really gain much. And I didn't.
Was mentioned. They hate him, OMG. Wait, did I jump directly to it? Did you just for real say Asmongold is funny?
It's
skill. It is skill.
Getting back into it.
This is Asmongold fans in D'Angelo's chat.
Oh yeah. So this person also said, besides saying that they felt like it was entertainment over education, someone said, if you could go back in time and never appear on the show, would you? And they said, yes, because I didn't really gain much and I didn't get to contribute to the conversation as I thought. And
I'm glad you're shutting this down. Wait, what happened? Okay. What's the beef? Now I'm curious.
You know what? Actually, I'm already here. Chat. I don't want to talk about people who talking about them always turns into this. There are definitely some people on YouTube where whenever you bring up their name, everything just starts getting really heated. I promise you, it doesn't matter. I don't have anything to add to these conversations. So anybody who is like deeply controversial and whose name has turned into a hot button topic or whatever, that's not why I'm streaming. I don't care about stand-based wars. It's so uninteresting to me. This is not why I log on.
Agree with Free Palestine. We just don't have to like everyone that says it. Okay, where's the beef? Hold on. How did this conversation start?
Chat, can we please move on from Hasan? Concrete advice you took into the future and your finances. Did you feel like for people say was mods deleting everything? We talked about his early content, the Reddit stuff. Oh yeah, the mods deleting everything. I talked about his there. All right, moving on. I get you even. The point is, like, it really doesn't matter. Someone said Hasan has.
Oh, somebody brought up Hasan had 100K in the first hour.
1.8 million.
Going to be Hasan's record today,
and had 100,000 people. Yes, the point is like y'all can optimize your streams a little better. Don't just go live and assume that everybody cares what you're doing.
Wait, what? Here's not how it starts.
Who's said every the name Steven anywhere? It's not in my outline either. Okay, well, that was odd. Anyways, what Caleb is doing right now doesn't really matter that much. It really doesn't matter. Someone said Hasan has 1.8 million and had 100,000 people. Yes, the point is like, y'all can optimize your streams a little better. Don't just go live and assume that everybody cares what you're doing. They probably don't. Anyways, moving on. Sorry, Steven. If you're watching this, I don't even know who you are. You
Maggie probably think of it the 16 months, and most Luciferian chat think of it the 10 months or 12 months. Just playing on Hasan, I did. That's the first thing I did.
Projected into my thoughts, and then I just started dragging you. That was a glitch. That was a glitch right there. All right, moving on.
Wait, so he just offhandedly mentioned Hasan
out. Hold on. So we talked about his early content, the Reddit stuff. Oh yeah, the mods deleting everything. Oh yeah, okay, what I was gonna say was, so we've already kind of gotten into, obviously this content is not helping people at this point.
I mean,
but
that's
like,
just what chat does.
Is it even helping the people who are on the show? Obviously the answer is no, but I really like this person who did an AMA. They were asked like, hey, how much of the conversation did you feel was
because we can't see who's sending these messages, but
entertainment value versus concrete advice you took into the future and your finances?
Kyle Girl's looking for the 7 months as well. Much appreciated.
Just acknowledging the show's entertainment. And they said, I'll try to keep it brief. This was such a good question. For me in particular, I think there was a bigger fundamental.
All the Hasan haters in chat. Hasan streams too long. LOL. What's bad about Hasan? The dog shocker. Hasan is probably botting.
Cultural/value disconnect.
He has a lot of
where I technically wasn't.
Swerves? No, it's probably just mix of swerves and H3 fans. No, I don't think the swerves that hate Hasan are that numerous. I don't think the swerves on the internet are that numerous. it's mostly like H3 haters. They are? No, I don't think so. They're on H3? Sure, but I think the H3 fans who hate Hasan are just more numerous than the swerves. Right? I'm not saying that swerves like don't exist, but I'm just saying that they're just like not as numerous as the other sections of Hasan haters, you know?
Isn't doing that bad financially, so rather than the usual taquitos type of rating.
Yeah, but I can see H3 fans being in D'Angelo's base. They are, but they share an audience is what I'm saying. Yeah, but I don't think it's I genuinely don't think it's that meaningful in number.
He had to, quote, find other things to push back on that weren't necessarily conducive or productive. Ultimately, I think he means to provide 50-50 edutainment, but appealing to masses means the info can get so basic / repetitive / surface level.
Concept that like just mentioning Hasan's name in an offhanded mention gets people to be like, ugh, Hasan, bro, ugh, yeah, gross. I hate that guy.
That I realized he didn't have as much value to provide those. That I realized he didn't have as much value to provide those who need to move beyond the bare minimum stage 1 financial literacy. So in other words, like, who is this for? You know what I mean? Who is this actually for? Chat, can we please move on from Hasan? In the chat, I wasn't talking about him or his content, and I'm also not interested in that conversation. Anyways. So I mentioned him by name. Also, can I please say, it's okay. Y'all can share your opinions in the live chat all you want. But a mention by name doesn't always ever mean anything. Sometimes people's names exist and they still exist in the sphere. Oh my God. Oh my God. Actually, you know.
D'Angelo Wallace said Hasan had a lot of viewers on his first YouTube stream in an offhanded mention. And the chat's just like, bro, I hate Hasan. And that's just all the chat turned into.
You know what? No,
Which honestly, like, if Hasan haters were just a little bit more normal, they could actually probably get more people to hate Hasan too. You know what I mean? Should I mention it first? Yeah, but he read the comment in an offhanded mention about Hassan just having a lot of viewers on YouTube. And the chat was just like, ew, Hasan, I hate Hasan. And then the other half of the chat was like, why does the chat hate Hasan? And then it became a conversation about Hasan. You know?
You know what? Actually, I'm already here. Chat, I don't want to talk about people who talking about them always turns into this. There are definitely some people on YouTube where whenever you bring up their name, everything just starts getting
I don't necessarily
really
agree with this, because like that's gonna happen when you cultivate an audience that doesn't stand for something. But like it's kind of the issue that Ludwig had, right? When you have this like centrist position and be like, well, I'm not getting into the meat and potatoes of what's going on here. If you don't, like, if some audience doesn't agree with it, then it's fine. You guys can be over here, right? And I'm not saying you have to like Hasan or not like Hasan, right? But taking a stand by being like, this is what I believe on X issue will stop this from happening. But it will also cause the people who hate Hasan unilaterally to leave your audience. So I get why people don't do it, right? But that's the balancing act. Is either you have to, kind of play both sides, try to make both sides happy, and hopefully they both stick around, or you pick a side and potentially lose the other group of people, but you don't have this discourse happening. You know what I mean? If you mentioned Trump, I bet the same would have happened in the other half of his chat. No, I don't think so. Angel has some bad takes sometimes. Didn't like the Chaperone vid either. He's a bit of a centrist sometimes. No, Trump is the president. Not even just that. I don't think D'Angelo's. I think D'Angelo's audience is like pretty libbed, right? Pretty libbed, lefty, kind of group. So they're not going to be pro-Trump, right? But there is a section of like the liberal left, audience that just doesn't like Hasan, right? And that's something Hasan gotta eat. So I don't think it'll be like, I don't think there's Asmongold fans, right, that are liking. I don't think people in D'Angelo's chat like Asmongold and therefore hate Hasan. It's more likely that they like H3 and they hate Hasan, or they like the lib debate bro sphere, but hate Hasan. I think it's mostly that. I don't think D'Angelo has like strong opinions about Hasan. I don't think he hates Hasan either, right? Because if somebody hates Hasan, they will tell you. You know what I mean? I just don't think D'Angelo cares enough to litigate to his audience about his feelings about Hasan, or liberals don't hate Hasan. Yes, they do. There are for sure liberals who do hate Hasan. What are you talking about? There are leftists who hate Hasan, there are liberals who hate Hasan, and there are conservatives who hate Hasan. Hasan gets hated by a lot of people. There's Democrat dead enders who vehemently hate him. No, you're wrong. There are people who are like not like Democrat dead enders who also people hate Hasan for a lot of reasons. Chatter. Like a lot of reasons. You can't just be like, oh, it's just this one group of people who hate Hasan. Right? A lot of people hate Hasan for a number of different reasons. Hasan is a visual representation of white leftists, so being so big for so long means he's going to get hated on. I don't think necessarily. I think it goes further than him just being the visual representation of white leftists, right? Because he gets hate from other white leftists as well. Bad Abanada hates Hasan. Everybody hates Hasan. Like not everybody, but every group of person, you can find a contingent of people who hate Hasan. There are Maoists who hate Hasan. Yes. But liberal is a very broad term to use, be specific. So is conservative and leftist. I'm not being like generalized for just liberals. I said leftists and conservatives and liberals all hate Hasan for different reasons. People hating on him in the most random reply threads ever. Yeah, I think it's because I think it's comes for a lot of different reasons, but I think a lot of it comes from Hasan being very large. So as a large, rich streamer, he gets a lot of hate from working class people because of their own class position. I think that's part of it. I think Hasan is a leftist, and so he gets a lot of hate from liberals and conservatives for being a leftist, and that's a part of it. I think Hasan is white, and he can slip up on what he says sometimes, so he'll upset Black people and marginalized people across the entire political spectrum for the stuff that he says, and that gets him a lot of hate. I think Hasan is a streamer, and people hate streamers, so I think he gets a lot of hate from that. Hasan is a dude bro, like gym bro person, who's very big on go to the gym, that kind of stuff. So people hate that. Just because of like that persona of like the dude bro. Some people do hate him for being pro sex work as well. Muslim, so Islamophobes also hate him. Like there's a number of different things or reasons why people don't like Hasan. You know what I mean? It's not as simple as just being like, oh, they're just Democratic Party shills because that's why they like Hasan. I think that's reductive. Coming as big and as white as he is, at least doesn't hate reparations like a lot of other white MLs. Yeah. But Hasan's also not an ML. So that could also be part of it. Not for balanced name, why people like him. He's hot. So people are like, yo, this guy's attractive. Kaya. No, I don't think people don't like him because of Kaya. I think the contingent of people who don't like him because of Kaya are minuscule. I think people use Kaya as a pretense to justify not liking him originally. That's it. They don't like him because of his politics. They don't like him because of his dude bro persona. They don't like him because of his sex work take. They don't care about Kaya. They don't care about oh, Hasan's a dog abuser. They just know that sticks. I think you're wrong. So many of my normie friends learn about him through that and hate him. I mean, I'm sure there are people who do that and who don't like him because of that, right? But I still, that is minuscule compared to because Hasan was getting hate before that even happened in the first place. You know what I mean? So I think just most of the people who just don't like him are, justifying that from the Kaya stuff. I think the hate he gets online is minuscule. I don't think so. Because again, think about the people who learn about streamers online. You know what I mean? Compared to the offside. I know what you mean, but I don't agree with that. Because again, if you people who learn about streamers online, right? It's just I don't think that's a meaningful number, especially compared to Hasan being featured on mainstream media and being talked about positively. And again, it depends on what framework you're talking about. If you mean young people online who are on TikTok and who know ad streamers but don't necessarily know streamers specifically, who might have seen the Hasan clip past their TikTok feed, I think that should be the case. Yeah. I think then Kaya stuff probably had a lot of staying power for those people. But for the Gen X wine moms who turn on CNN and see Hasan, or turn on Piers Morgan and see Hasan talking and be like, oh, I agree with this guy because he said we need to fix healthcare or whatever. I think there's also a lot of staying power in that as well. But just being as large as he is, he's going to get hate from every sector of the population, essentially. My normie friend hated Hasan for his fashion, and the dog thing made it worse. Yeah, there are people who are who found out about it through, the dog thing. It was like, oh, I don't like this guy or whatever. I think that's true. That's correct, right? But I think for a lot of the specific Hasan haters, people who would be in D'Angelo Wallace's chat, be like, I hate Hasan, where he's talking about Caleb Hammer. I don't think that they found out about Hasan through the dog thing and was like, okay, now I don't like this guy. I'm pretty sure that they didn't like him for any number of different reasons. And the dog thing was like, that is why I don't like this guy. Anyway, This is none of this is truly the conversation.
He did. I promise you, it doesn't matter. I don't have anything to add to these conversations. So anybody who is like deeply controversial and whose name has turned into a hot button topic or whatever, that's not why I'm streaming. I don't care about stand-based wars. It's so uninteresting.
I will say
to
this
me.
is the one thing that I don't know if I
This
don't know
is
if I
not why
agree
I
with D'Angelo Wallace on. I think he's saying this because he just doesn't want to talk about Hasan right now, which is honestly fair. I get it, right? But like he's also in this video talking about like Caleb Hammer, which is like that conversation does involve like stand-based wars. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think he doesn't want to talk about Hasan, and I get that.
Log on to you. I'm not crashing
Yeah,
out.
I don't think D'Angelo Wallace like hates Hasan or anything like that.
Don't worry, I'm not crashing out. I'm just telling you, I'm not interested at all. Don't involve me and don't look for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna clip this because he said this one thing in support of this person. Oh, but I'm in this other person's fan base, so actually D'Angelo is on my side and this, that, the other. Not saying that's what y'all were doing just because everyone was mentioning him. I'm just saying it's a no from me, dog. I'm nobody's mouthpiece. I'm just trying to get a bag. That is me. Someone said no EHD. Yeah, exactly. And if you even know what that means, you should definitely understand why I'm unwilling to talk about it. That's enough.
I'm certainly referring to H3. Oh, yeah, that's definitely a part of it, for sure.
That means you should definitely understand why I'm unwilling to talk about it. That's enough of that. Thank you. All right, so getting back into it.
I guess that's how Hasan was mentioned. This is why people are so cautious to go on a history and people get so unhinged. Yeah. Which I can't totally blame him for. They're insane. I wouldn't want to deal with it either. I mean, just mentioning Hasan's name just turned into that. Right. But again, I think this is an issue that you have if you try to like ride this like neutrality thing, not on like Hasan specifically, but like, you know what I mean? If you can't necessarily placate people who are like, don't talk about Hasan, or Hasan sucks and I hate Hasan, and people who are like, I like Hasan, I'm a fan of Hasan, right? Because it will always turn into this back and forth. You feel me? Days of Hasan Shikam invites are long gone. Well, to be fair, Shikam doesn't exist anymore. So, and to be fair, I don't know if like streamer events are gonna happen really anymore to that extent. Like I'm sure Cutie's still gonna do stuff. Like I think she's still gonna do the streamer awards this year. I think she's still going to be posting and doing like some events, but like I don't think I think the time of like large streamer events to bring people together, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't. I think streaming just has too many eyes on it now that like it's not like an insular hobby anymore. And like you're gonna end up with like the Rokai situation and the Indie Love situation again and again and again. Anyway, let's go back to this video, which is how we got here in the first place.
And get to contribute to the conversation.
Also, I love that I can't see my YouTube chat. So YouTube chat, if you're saying anything, I'm so sorry. I'm not ignoring you on purpose. I literally can't see it. I literally cannot see it. It says something went wrong. It will not work. So I guess maybe I'll try closing this. Close this. Open this back up. Don't let a couple of people ruin it for everyone. I understand it's a lot of work on Cutie, but it's fun to watch. I mean, it's not that a couple people ruin it for everyone. It's just that the streaming space is just different than it was. You know? It's just not the same as it used to be. Ew. I hate these vertical tabs. Maybe I'll keep it just for now. Nope, it still doesn't work. I don't know why it's not working. I guess, hold on, I can fix this. I can fix this. How do I make a new tab? Dashboard. Yeah, I can play this.
I thought. They also said, though, no, they don't want to go back in time and never do it because it was a worthwhile experience to be on the other side of. And then the last one I have from them is essentially, how did your opinion of Caleb or the show change after being a guest? And Caleb said, honestly, I watched him less and moved up onto other financial content. So all this to say, we get it. This at one point actually was financial content, but not even the people on the show see it this way. It's more just some like Dr. Phil nonsense of let me invite people who are either fine and make fun of them or people who are harmful and attribute all the harmful traits to things that are actually bigoted. Someone said, wait, hold on. Chat's going really fast, but I saw a good one. Someone said, it's been tough as an early watcher of Caleb's content to see how comfortable he's gotten perpetuating racist stereotypes. I would imagine the real-time experience of being this dude's fan is not it. Anyways, okay, so this is the course, by the way, that you've seen various people referring to on Reddit. Again, this is the part where
why do they always have courses? Why do they always have courses?
I can't sit here and be like, well, yes, I'm a financial expert and this is how I know the course is bad. All I can tell you is charging $997 for the personal audit.
Don't worry, you missed it. It's actually on sale, 86% off. It used to cost $7,000 for a 60-minute session. Wait, this is illegal, by the way. You can't do this. You can't do a fake sale to sell a course. Not like it's going to be litigated, but you can't. You literally can't do a fake sale to sell a course. That is against the law. Unless he actually thinks this is worth $7,000 and he wasn't doing like a fake sale.
Experience, which is ostensibly supposed to help you get your finances in order. He's claiming that this is actually a $7,000 offer, which he has marked down 86%. I can't sit here and call this a scam. But I could definitely sit here and say, this is predatory. It just straight up is. This is obviously for people who don't have a good grip on their finances. And you're like, well, I can fix it for you for $1,000. If you don't have 1,000, don't worry. You got 200. You can buy this one for 200. You can buy this one for 200. But yeah, no, if I was really feeling desperate right now, I could check out. Allowing people to.
I can see you now, YouTube chat. YouTube chat. Hold on. I don't think I can put you on the screen though, but I can see you. Hello, YouTube chat. Can I get a 1 in the YouTube chat if you're there with me, YouTube chat? Learn the origins of the audio, or I live like how was everything they changed, very funny. Like what is he doing there? I won. Okay, YouTube chat works. Hold on. I'm gonna show y'all what it looks like so y'all can see it. Browser. YT chat. Wow. Wow. I know you love me. This is what it looks like. It's very small though. Hold on. Do this. Save. So these are on YouTube now because I never watched Twitch at work. To be fair, I was on YouTube more than anybody else was. Don't let them lie to you. Okay, wait, it's not showing up. Hold on. There it is. Aha. Look at that. Covering you Twitch chat with you. Bow, YouTube chat. You are now the chat of the stream. Oh, look at all the ones that are kind of behind. Anyway. But now I can see you. So I'll check back in with y'all in a little bit.
To do this is, to me personally, so deeply irresponsible, especially
to be
knowing
fair,
that it's
YouTube has 100 people there, chat. I just started streaming on there. I only got like 600. I've been streaming on Twitch for 5 years. So there's latency like 5 minutes. No, it's only like a minute or so. I think, or less. RK Monkey, thank you for the 9 months. Much appreciated. Brand's overlay that shows both at once. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I'm too easy to figure it out right now. Couldn't your real job win? I already have. This is my full-time thing.
probably likely to draw people in who are already struggling. Someone said I unfollowed him when he started offering courses. Valid reason to unfollow somebody. All right. He also has this app. Now, I feel like offering people an app to help them with finance and stuff like that is a good thing. I'm not here to knock this. I'm here to tell y'all.
I mean, maybe. But like, do we need another budgeting app?
I was about to go get the Henny.
Yo, I'm moving for the 10 gigs of subs. Much appreciated. Congrats. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You don't need to do that. Right? So long as this number up there for subs stays above like 1,000, I'm chilling. I can make rent. We're chilling. We're good. But anything above that is completely unnecessary, but I really appreciate it. Just for Monopoly, you heard it here first. Yeah, if the Monopoly is not being broken up by Caleb Hammer. You only have 999. You're right. I guess I'm not making rent today. I actually pay my rent literally today. Guess how much I paid in my rent today, chat? Throw a number out there. Also, I'll look at YouTube chat too. Some numbers are kind of close. Some numbers are kind of close. I paid $26.03 and 70 cents. My bedrooms, 1. Crazy, ain't it? North Carolina and Los Angeles. It's like what I pay. 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Yeah, they upped my rent $400 this year. Maybe not $400. It's closer to like $200. So, it's insane. Yeah. Our landlords. Nothing included. No. Our Pokemon had an opening. True. Is that per month? It is. Yo, 4, thank you for the raid. Do you ever move? I'm moving next year, bro. I'm not staying in this apartment. I just keep raising my rent for $200 a month or $200 a year. That's like an extra freaking $2,000 a year. That's crazy. What y'all do? How was stream? I better pay for Sean's rent. It goes there for sure. And it happened with Element. It didn't fizzle out. I don't think Element's streaming now, actually. Let me see. Maybe he is. I don't follow him. You watching D'Angelo? I am. Yeah, he hasn't streamed for 30 days. So, dang, he lost 2,000 followers. That's rough. How much is pet rent? Santa Fe. Look at North Carolina, the triangle specifically, we're full. Hey, I'm from North Carolina. Excuse you. You can't keep me out of where I'm from. Technically, I'm still registered to vote in North Carolina. He quit streaming. I think he's probably waiting for things to cool down a little bit more. He'll probably be back in like 2 months. He said, "Don't come home." Yeah. My next goal is to buy a house in North Carolina. Cause I can literally pay. I would be paying less in a mortgage than I'm paying in rent right now. My parents' house, their mortgage costs less than I'm paying in rent right now. Landlord, no, I would live in the house. I would be living in the house. Can you just get $1 million house? Yeah, let me just get $1 million house. My mortgage is $2,100 for a 2-bed, 1 bath. Mortgage. I ain't no dressing got it like that. Rent it out to me. Aren't you in like Norway or something? But you would own the land? Sure. Bought my first house at 21. Okay, I don't need to hear this from you. Landlord. True. Get him. Don't get me. Get him. Buy a bunch of houses to offset the gerrymandering. Buy all of your chatters a house? Listen, I can't afford it. Hasan probably could. I can't afford it. I have a 2,700 square foot home and pay 1,000 less than you do. Yeah, that's insane. Is 2,700 square foot good? I think so. My goal is to get a 3,000 square foot house. How much does that cost? Like $350K? 30-year mortgage? I paid $150 in cash for my house. That's crazy. I got as what was your answer? 2603. Build your own home? That ain't happening. $3K square foot is like a 5-bedroom. Yeah, I don't even need those bedrooms. But if I find a baddie, right? I get a baddie. I'm like, what's good? What's up? Come live with me in my house. I have my house for that, my bedroom that I sleep in, my bedroom that I stream in, my bedroom that I cook in, my bedroom that I sleep in, the second one, and the bedroom for my guests to sleep in. Like a kitchen? Yes. I volunteer as tribute? No. I'm not dating a chatter. No offense, chatters. That's not happening. No Jordan in the bedroom? No, that happens in the... I was gonna say in the living room. I'm sorry. What are we talking about? So you got a 1,200 square foot studio. 200 square foot studio. 1,200 is crazy big. Dang, 200 square foot. I can't live in a studio. That was my one stipulation, is that I would not live in a studio. I'm never in my life. I will never have a roommate, and I will never live in a studio. So long as I have the money to do it. Those are my 2 non-negotiables. Location doesn't. I don't care about. Safety. Who cares? I don't care about. But my 2 non-negotiables for having an apartment is no roommates and no studio. I don't care if I have to live at the edge of town, I have to commute in. I won't do it. I need to have some separation between my bedroom and the rest of my apartment. And I have had terrible experiences with roommates. That's how I feel. What about an in-unit laundry? That's pretty high up there as well. That's pretty high up there as well. To make a content house, that would be kind of funny. But living with content creators seems like the worst thing in the world. What if you had sex with a roommate? Then they wouldn't be my roommate, hopefully. They'd be a partner of some kind. You know what I mean? And I can do that without having that be my roommate, you know? Like, I can do that, and then they can go back to their house, and I can just chill in my space. You feel me? So... I do have a roommate right now, and she's sitting on the porch, or not porch. I don't have a porch, on the balcony. Anyway, this got so off topic from what we were actually talking about. Tiny home sounds cute and sustainable, but I would want more space. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like Maya lives in a tiny home. I don't know how she likes it. I can ask her. I'm pretty sure she lives on a tiny home on the Alves property. Get an RV? That's not happening. That's when you do Alves. True. You need a cat as the same as a roommate. I have a dog. It's a tiny loft house. She's in a tiny home, but she has so much land. That's true. But do I really care about like land? Not particularly. All I want is I want a decently sized backyard and some measure of a front yard. I want a 2-car garage. This is my house wish list. You know what? Sure. We'll take 10 seconds to talk about my wish list for like, if I buy a house, what do I want that house to be? First, right? First, I want 2 stories. I want 2 stories. Basement is not necessary, but basement is cool. I like basements. But the basements take a lot of maintenance, especially if you live in an area that gets a lot of rain for flooding and such. So that's crazy. I want a backyard that is decently sized, but that has some sort of patio or porch area, so you can have a super sick, awesome grill setup. Why? Do I make a lot of cookout food? Not really. But will I? Probably not, but it would be cool. Buy 2 stories because I like a separation between, if people come over to visit, we can stay on the first floor, but I have the second floor that's my stuff, in my space. What are your favorite 2 stories? My favorite 2 stories? I'm liking JJK right now. That's a pretty good story. Toy Story is a story. Toy Story 2 is a story as well. That's a pretty good story. When the grill be in the cooking room? Nah, the never ending story. Basement or attic? Basement. The One Piece mention? Indeed. What else? What else? Hardwood, no carpet. Hot take. I do not like carpet. It's the worst thing ever to clean. Towers is hardwood. I like hardwood. Correct take. Carpet suck. Carpet rough if you have pets, which I do. Where you keep all your DBZ memorabilia? In my stream room. Carpets are comfy. Yeah, so are rugs. You know what I mean? So are rugs. And rugs, you can change out the texture. You're like, man, I hate this rug that I've had for the last year. I'm going to buy a different rug. I'm going to put that down. And then you're chilling. Maybe that's crazy. What else? Except, okay, carpet nowhere except for the bathrooms. Only put the carpets in the bathrooms. You know, ball. Yeah. Oh, okay. Seriously though, yeah. Fuzzy toilet covers. Right. You need squeaky doors, obviously. Carpets in the bathrooms. You need, what else you need? You need lead pipes. That's important. Plastic wrapped couches. Indeed. Mold. That's important. You need ant infestation. That's required. Lead paint. Popcorn ceilings. Asbestos. Also important. That's necessary. You need to have that. Squirrels in the attic. A leaky skylight. Sure. Termites, but termites you can't see. You just have piles of wood piling up around the house and you don't know what they are. That's required. I can't even say bed bugs. I can't even say that as a joke. I can't even say that as a joke. No batteries in the fire alarm. I'm black. Of course there's no batteries in the fire alarm. Why would there be? I don't like this game anymore. In an HOA. Okay, seriously, back to what I actually want. I'm anti-HOA. If I join a community with an HOA, I will go to all the meetings and I will join the HOA just so I can dissolve it. Just so I can dissolve it. That's like me salting. I'm gonna be salting the HOA. I buy a house in a community, get to the HOA, dissolve the HOA, sell the house, move on to the next one. That's my new job after I retire from streaming. I start salting communities to keep destroying HOAs. That's how you do it. It's great tech. Thank you. HOAs sound awful. They do sound awful. You single-handedly ended housing segregation. I'm gonna buy a house. Y'all telling me I can't put it in my yard. What can my fence can be? Exactly. And people are always like, oh well, what if you have a neighbor who keeps their old beat up car on cinder blocks in the front street? First of all, good for them. Second of all, that's not happening. Third of all, you think I'm buying a house? Also, yeah, what if the sky falls from the sky? You know, the sky is falling like Chicken Little, bro. What if that happens too? It's infinitely more likely that you're gonna give me a citation for having my car parked in front of my house for longer than a day. It's my house. How are you going to tell me how long my car can be parked in front of my house? How are you going to tell me that my mailbox is too close to the street and that I need to move it? How are you going to tell me that my kids I don't have kids, but if I had kids playing in their backyard of a house that I own are too loud and are making the neighbors uncomfortable with their rambunctious Negro-ness? You have a daughter, and she's not a kid. She's a dog. Black History Month? Yeah, they hate Black History Month. They said that? No. But what if they did, you know? What if they did? You don't know. Are you not considering having Asmund as your neighbor? Listen, I don't want his residuals to waft over me. Anyway, sorry. This is completely off topic. This is insanely off topic for what we were actually talking about. And I will say one benefit to Twitch chat that YouTube chat doesn't have is that nobody left Twitch when we started this conversation. Because Twitch is so used to going off of these insane tangents, right? Y'all you're just like, okay, we're just gonna lock in. Like 20 people left on YouTube chat, but Twitch was like, nah, we're here. That's whatever. Off topic, what does this have to do with Mike, Will, and 11? You're right. What does this have to do with Mike, Will, and 11? Mike Will made it. Sorry. I will also say we're technically only 17 subscribers away from 16K in the subscriber goal. So yeah. Anyway, let's continue.
One of the lowest rated Google apps I have ever seen in my life. You have a 1.8. For you to only have your fans installing this app and still have a 1.8.
1.8 with 100,000 downloads and 2,000 reviews almost. That was rounded up. 1.5 thousand views. Like, that's rough. That's really bad.
You have to be pissing off everybody. The app is uniquely bad. The free trial does not have any clear or easy cancellation path shown in the app. They gave this a 1 star. If you give somebody a free trial,
if it bleeds, it leads. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Much appreciated.
You try to psy-op them out of feeling like they have the power to cancel it. That way you can get paid. That's scummy, at the very least. Even if it's not scammy, can we just say it's scummy? People were saying the app just straight up doesn't work. I'm a huge fan of Caleb Hammer. I'll have his back on anything he does and support his businesses if I can. Unfortunately, I can't with this product. Sorry, that's such a funny review. This app it just simply does not work. I signed up for this thing. I tried to link my accounts, etc., etc. Everybody just keeps saying it doesn't do what it says it's going to do. Canceling it is like dying. It feels the same way. My brother in Christ, you got to fix some of these issues before trying to offer people advice. I'll tell you that. That's my financial advice for Caleb Hammer. They know that the app is bad. Look, we're rebuilding DollarWise to help you. A new DollarWise is coming. I guess he is following my advice. He's fixing his problems. So the next thing that I would like to talk about, Caleb himself tells a story about what happened to him on Hinge, which is a dating app. And it's just his side of the story makes it sound like it's a funny thing that happened.
I went on this date with a crazy bitch that hadn't been on a date for 5 years. We went back to my place, tried to hook up. She didn't want to. And I was like, okay, please leave. Then she left. And then she freaked the fuck out, got me banned on Hinge and stuff.
You can say things like this on a massive podcast and get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of likes, and get it turned into TikTok.
Much appreciated.
Energy, and that becomes the dominant narrative. And then your side of the story is just like a Reddit post in the dark. And unfortunately, that's what's going on here. So
much appreciated. We're now 6.
I was about to go get the heady.
1. We're 1 subscriber away from 16K. Belties, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I was about to go get the Henny. Oh wait, no, we did it. That's it. Yay, we did it. We were actually only 5 away. I can't count.
Was about to go
but dog, thank you for the gifted sub as well.
Gifted a tier 1 sub to Loltome.
Hey, Black History Month. Thank you. We need to do something Black History Month related, chat. What should we do for Black History Month? What should we do? What should we do? What should we do? What should we do? Okay, you know what I want to do? You know what I want to do? I want to play Dungeons and Dragons. It has nothing to do with Black History Month, but I do want to play Dungeons and Dragons. We can do a tier list as well. Watch more Stranger Things. Black History Month movie night Saturdays. Obvious Ambassadors and D-Rag streams. The wrestling react stream, that's not happening. Birthday cards, what are those? Infamous, oh, we'll do that at some point too. But I'm doing Black Movie Night every Saturday's weekend in Discord. Kind of the tales on this black only. But do I know any black people that would play all black D&D? Do I know any black people who would play D&D? That's the question. Let's see. Do I know any black people at all? Yeah, it's Ludwig Hasan. Chill. Stop. Slime. What are you, racist? Maybe. Like, when people would play D&D than you expect. We have to ask people. Ugh, name one black person. Can they be half black? Does that count? Yes, Obama. Got him.
Person who he was talking about here came forward on Reddit and said, no, yeah, that was me, by the way, who got him banned off of not just Hinge, but Bumble and Tinder as well. And they explained, now this is, I'm not going to actually read this for you verbatim, but quite strange, triggering content talking about how he was touching her.
Okay. We can't hear you. This goes might be one of your players. Who can I force to DM? What if we had a white person DM it? You know? You're too quiet compared to the video. Greg? Who's Greg? Greg the white guy? Black Greg? Just Greg? You know Greg? Who's Greg? A white person with the title master this month? That's a good point. You make a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. So you know Greg? Who is Greg? Matt Mercer trying to step up. I think Matt Mercer has bigger things going on. Struggle forward. Is that actually who Greg is? I think are y'all trolling? I genuinely don't know who Greg is. Who is Greg? Greg White? Who's Greg? Cousin Greg? I don't have a cousin Greg. You know Greg? What do you mean, Brilliant Millions, DMCR, match to have time? Not your cousin? Whose cousin? You're gonna reach out to black people, that's your Black History Month goal? I didn't say that. Anyway, let's continue.
Without consent, and it was just immensely uncomfortable. The reason got him came forward on Reddit and said, no, yeah, that was me, by the way, who got him banned off of not just Hinge, but Bumble and Tinder as well. And they explained, now this is, I'm not going to actually read this for you verbatim, but quite strange, triggering content talking about how he was touching her without consent, and it was just immensely uncomfortable. The reason, I believe allegations, regardless of anything really, there's no reason to try to discredit people coming forward, but the reason that you know that at the very least this person is the one who Caleb was talking about was because Caleb came on Reddit and tried to react to this and be like, oh yeah, nah,
he's done this multiple times, by the way. Like, no, like he comes and he like corroborates the allegations. He did it with this situation. He did it with a roommate that said he smeared poop on the walls when he moved out. And Caleb was like, guys, this is my actual roommate, by the way. Because you don't know. He actually did know me. We actually did live together. Right? But he's lying about this specific thing. So, like, why didn't you just lie about not knowing this person? You know, why didn't you just say, like, why did you not say anything? He went out of his way to be like, guys, this is my roommate, by the way. In this case, he's like, yes, actually, we actually did go on a date. I went on a date with this person. This person is the person, actually. Because it gives credibility to the person making the allegations in the first place.
We go with the over sensationalism that we can't seem to get over since 2020. How much you want to bet he's finna over sensationalize the heck out of this? This is why my creator friends privately recommended I get consent recorded, and we live in a single party consent recording state. So after the insanity of last year, guess what? I did. It doesn't matter if you record somebody giving you their consent. It doesn't matter. That's not a gotcha. This is an absolutely horrible start to this sort of response, which we're not going to go through the whole thing. I just feel like that's a strong enough opening for you to understand this guy has everything so backwards. Little does this performative person who is chalking up what was just a bad date, I voice message recorded our entire conversation that she's talking about, and it exposes her for all her lies. But F it, she wants to harm my career, so let's expose her. So yeah, bit by bit, he starts going through. She said that there was a camera in the room, which made her uncomfortable. And he said, yes, as a public figure, I have a security system. Okay, you got to answer for everything. She said that he touched her leg after she said no. And he says, that's beyond incorrect. I made a move. She looked at me odd. I pulled away and...
What? This is not like a defense. You just didn't describe what the move was. This is not a contradictory story to what she's saying here.
And asked if it was okay. And she specifically said yes, so I did it again. And she said no, she didn't consent, Caleb. That's the only point that she was making. I don't think hopping on Reddit and being like, actually, here are the specifics of why every single point of this was wrong, and I'm going to treat this like YouTube drama with the receipts. Here's my receipts. I recorded everything. Really, really disturbing stuff. So it just goes on and on and on. She rejected, and I was okay with it and moved on. Again, it's 2025, so it means the R word, I guess. And no, I did not ask her to, quote, take a bath. I know Gen Z views sex as a bad thing, but consensual sex is not bad. I don't know why she's saying it like this, twisting the situation to make me look bad. It destroys her
point
credit.
Is that she didn't consent. So like that's kind of the issue. That was the problem.
That's where you're getting some of this 2015 language popping back up. SJW destroyed by facts and logic, destroyed by evidence. This is really disgusting, and I don't feel the need to. It's just so long. What I do feel the need to show you, because it's actually quite important and explains a lot. Look at this. So somebody said, I'm sorry, things are so crazy, and Caleb says, people like her right now hold all the power. Does that sound familiar? We don't listen to people that look like you anymore. You've lost all the power. I can't stress this enough. Underneath his misogyny is actually a genuine hatred and bitterness at the fact that anybody ever dared to come forward. And now all of this is some strange, like, punishment of women in general, because people like her right now hold.
It's Greg69. Thank you for the follow. That's quite interesting. I wonder if this is the Greg everybody's talking about.
All the power. They can literally say anything, and the commentary community will suck it up like water, and people who dislike me believe it without a single thought, and she'll face zero consequences if she lies about things, but I will face them all. We live in a new era. I know how people like her work. I was ahead of it and can literally destroy her in court. It's not a game anymore. It's time to fight back against this BS. Anybody who is espousing misogyny on main is obviously a problem, but you really, this is actually a vendetta against women. This was a whole year ago and very much explains everything about the way he talks to every single woman. How dare this woman come forward after I tried to use the story of what I did to her for TikTok content? No. It's a no. I hate this punishment of people who come forward in general. You need to be completely silenced, and you need to, I'm going to use the resources that I have, and I'm going to try to build a picture where you're wrong. This is why people don't come forward. I am blaming Caleb Hammer as the reason for why people feel so deeply uncomfortable coming forward, feeling uncomfortable calling things SA when it is, but you don't want to say that because you feel like, oh, if I make this claim, people are going to destroy me, essentially. Anyways, if I had to, like, in conclusion, this, yes, I do sort of have a conclusion. At this point, this isn't fun for anybody. I was just poking around his channel, and you find comments like Lindsay, being the casting director, just seeks out the most imbalanced and unwell people. It has to stop, referring to a guest they had on who actually was quite toxic. You have stuff like this on the same video talking about everyone was harmed in the making of this episode, including the audience. Yes, this is obviously said in a jokey way, but this is not good content. I guess constantly seeking out people who are either the worst or making fun of people.
Good content, and as far as like it creates drama and intrigue, and that's what the audience wants to see, no matter what the comments are saying. And it's what the producers want to show. Also, am I still live? My Twitch die? Nope, I think we're good. I don't know why I said it disconnected.
I think we need a palate cleanser episode next. Can the next guest actually just want some help and have an informative chat? And then somebody says, boring. Nah, that would be boring. Wild. This is how people were talking about him a while ago.
But he's this guy that has like this financial podcast or show. It has people on his show who have like difficult financial situations because they're like bad with money. And I've been getting a lot of the videos on my For You page. And I also like watch the podcast on YouTube a few times. And honestly, I think it's helping me get my finances in order.
You see people saying things like, I hear him screaming if I ever look at the DoorDash app. I went to Jersey Mike's and I saved $18. So this, that, the other. Having people like this in your audience and then doubling down on racism, misogyny, everything is because you can make an even bigger bag.
Yeah, we
because
did
really
a while ago. We did a while ago. This is just like this is D'Angelo Wallace figuring out what happened with Caleb Hammer, and Caleb Hammer threatening to sue him. We covered his drama with Frogan. Wasn't Denim supposed to go on his stream at some point? Am I tripping? Never heard of that? No, I'm pretty sure Denim's agreed to go on Caleb Hammer's financial audit or something. I'm pretty sure we talked about that last time we talked about this.
you could just get enough people to buy your $1,000 course and make more money than you were ever finna make off of any one video. 2024, you have people talking about him like this. 2026, you got this video of me saying this dude is like absolute misogyny as a person. He really made sure to hit every single box. Also, he says a bunch of stuff on Twitter, and I had to save y'all. I literally had to save y'all. I'm not going to go to his Twitter. I'm just telling you right now, there's a bunch of stuff there. It's not going to make my point any harder. I think I can bow out of this Caleb Hammer situation. But anyway, hopefully you never have to think about Caleb Hammer ever again. I know I will definitely try not to. And yeah, I actually recorded this video live right here on YouTube, where I stream quite frequently Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern time, unless I don't. In which case, I've simply decided to sleep probably, or just not come to work. I don't know. It's really more so on you than it is on.
So that's the first D'Angelo Wallace video. He apparently was supposed to be putting out a video sometime today. It's not out yet, I don't think. So we can't necessarily watch it. But he said he was gonna be putting out another video that essentially addresses Caleb trying to sue him. But we're gonna see how that goes, what that means. Yeah, see, I wasn't making this up.
I invite you to call into Caleb Hammer Live.
Wait, is he posting full episodes?
Real people from the, by the way, audience who know exactly what show they're signing up for. You are making people out to be victims that are not. You're making out a show to be something it is not. You don't know what you're talking about. Moron.
God forbid students learning. Sure. And they're probably
if a lot more people.
Anyway, this is the clip.
In Denims, I invite you to call into Caleb Hammer Live if you ever want to. In Denims, I invite you to call into Caleb Hammer Live if you ever want to.
Right, and so she said, "Sure, I'm game. My DMs are open." I don't know if he responded, but I don't know if it happened. I don't watch Caleb Hammer, so I'm not entirely sure. But I didn't make it up. Confirmed. I did not make it up. But yeah, that's where this sits for right now. You're not a hammerhead? Is that what they call themselves? Honestly, it's not a bad name. Not a bad name. This is also kind of funny. Did you see ContraPoints made this tweet a while ago? Back when she was actually on Twitter before she left again. She said, people are really not familiar with the basic facts of the Epstein case. All the victims who testified at Maxwell's trial said that they were trafficked to Epstein himself, who abused them with Maxwell's assistance. Remember when Contra insisted that Epstein was the only trafficking people to himself? I remember I alluded to this a few days ago. Because, like, come on. Like, why would she say that? Who knows? I have no idea. Now she's in Blue Sky pretending she didn't tweet that. That's kind of her entire thing, right? After, you know, spending 2 years ignoring genocide, only to come and then chastise leftists for caring about genocide, only to then pretend like you didn't say that. You ever look at Lizzo's bad take on Epstein stuff? No, I did not. Lizzo video is wild. Is it that bad? Lizzo's take was horrendous? Really? Why does Lizzo have an Epstein take? Honestly, I don't know. Look here.
Just like the American.
I'll be right back.
Just like the American people in the comments. I knew she was wrong. Jay-Z, I knew he was. What did it say Jay-Z did? He was there in 1996. Come on, people. Like, y'all are falling for it. It's the easiest, oldest trick in the book. And honestly, I'm losing faith in the average intelligence of the American person. Because, come on. Just because somebody's name is mentioned in a 3 million document file of a person's life who's been lived over.
Sorry, I missed it. Run it back. Lizzo's not been insane since the fat dancer allegations.
Just like the American people in the comments. I knew she was wrong. Jay-Z, I knew he was. What did it say Jay-Z did? He was there in 1996. Come on, people. Like, y'all are falling for it. It's the easiest, oldest trick in the book.
What?
And honestly, I'm losing faith.
Okay, what trick is she? What trick she's talking about? Like, what are people falling for?
In the average intelligence of the American person. Because, come on. Just because somebody's name is mentioned in a 3 million document file of a person's life who's been lived over crimes who've spanned decades, doesn't mean that every single person is an accomplice. He could be mentioned. He referenced Jay-Z once. He was like, oh, we could learn from Jay-Z's business model. Why are y'all?
I mean, like, she's not entirely incorrect about this. Like, just because you're in the files does not mean you are engaged in criminal acts. But like, Jay-Z is the funniest case to do this for, because like, bro, there's been talks of Jay-Z being a predator for a long time. You know, there was talks of Jay-Z being a predator for a long time. It's not entirely wrong, but it's kind of weird to go out on a limb for him. Oh, when you don't know. Yeah. Like of all hills to die on, Jay-Z? Jay-Z, really? This is like being like, you know, just because you're in the files doesn't mean you're guilty. So leave R. Kelly alone. Leave R. Kelly alone. You know what I mean? And you're just like, whoa, hold on. Let's not do that, actually. Okay, this is the full video.
One more thing before I go into glam. This Epstein file shit, I have to, it's really frustrating to me, because there are 3 million files, right? 3 million documents in the files, because over the course of however long this man has been doing these crimes, every email, every text message, everything, just in general about this.
Yeah, but even if he's a predator, why would you 25-year-old Jay-Z, height of his career in the 90s, be in contact with Epstein? He could be a predator himself. He wouldn't need Epstein. Sure, but like, I don't care enough to defend him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know the details. This is for an investigation to find out and to solve. You know what I mean? Like, why are you, putting yourself out to side with and engage with again, maybe I'll watch this video because apparently she defends Ghislaine in this video. Jay-Z's not paying my rent. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Man's life has been put into these files to scan for illegal activities, right? Every text message you sent to somebody. If you stole an apple from Walmart and you were on trial for stealing an apple from Walmart, is every person in your phone an accomplice? Is every person in your phone, is every email you sent to a person or speaking about a person?
Like, from a theoretical basis, I can understand where she's coming from, but like, we're not talking about apples, right? We're talking about trafficking of children, right? So I do kind of want to know about the web of connections that did exist there, personally. You know what I mean? Yeah, tell me who's in Jeffrey Epstein's phone as pizza deliverer. Who is Papa John's in Epstein's phone? I do want to know that, actually. I think this is for, again, I don't think just because you're in his phone, you mean you're inherently guilty, but it does open you up to being a part of the investigation to see whether or not you are guilty. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I like this person, so therefore they could have done no wrong. Where I'm going to be like, okay, well, he was mentioned like 3 times. Okay, let's take a look at him and see if he has anything to do with this. Right? It does draw a little bit of scrutiny. I don't necessarily agree with people who are like, oh, you were mentioned in the Epstein file, therefore you're a pedophile or whatever. People who are implying stuff like that. I obviously don't agree with that. But like, it does draw you into the investigation because Jeffrey, especially if you were interacting with Jeffrey Epstein after he was convicted of, sex crimes. You know what I mean? Controversy is mentioned 9 times in the files, by the way. Really? True, because even Ken Klippenstein had his names in the files, I think. That's so funny. You know who's not in the files? Me. A lot of tweets in the files. Hopefully none of my tweets are in the files. Did you check? I did not check, actually. I did not check. I've made no tweets about Epstein. There's no reason for me to be in the files. Please, leave me out. Greg in the files? Maybe.
And does that make that person complicit? Does that make that person a bad guy? No.
Well,
no.
Yeah, not inherently. Could they still be complicit in a bad guy? Yes. That's the difference, right? Lizzo is using this, relative truth to be like, okay, now we should just throw out any idea of these people being bad or being complicit. You know what I mean? When no, this is not evidence of them directly being complicit. This brings more scrutiny so that we can look for more evidence, right? This gives people, investigators, a template to be like, okay, these are the people we should be looking at, right? These are the people we should be looking at and investigating more into.
It doesn't. And that's the same thing with the Diddy stuff. That was so, I told y'all.
You search the emails. Yeah, these are just the emails though. This isn't the whole files, I don't think, right? You are dead, good riddance. That's so funny. Man, Cody.
The media is so smart.
They're going there too. Is there? Oh, there is. Document search. ContraPoints. There's no ContraPoints in here. I was lied to.
Gonna make you so distracted with celebrity names that you're not gonna focus on the
Just check to use one of your emails in the files. Ha, joke's on you, chatter. I wasn't even around back then.
problem. You think
I could try searching Natalie. No, there's no Natalie Wynn. They just made that up, maybe. Let me check Ken.
every party that Diddy ever threw was a freak off and people were fucking and slipping and sliding on baby oil? No. That man had birthday parties. That man had Easter gatherings. That man had Super Bowl parties. That man had Christmas parties.
Did you go, Lizzo? Did you go to the parties, Lizzo? I'm sorry. I don't think we should be leaving any stone unturned. I feel like if you went to any Diddy parties, we should be investigating whether or not you went to the bad Diddy parties. Right? I don't know. I don't care if you went to any Epstein parties, but if you went to an Epstein party, I think you should be investigated to see if you went to the other ones. It's a good starting place, right? If you're like, oh man, who's the pedophile here? A great starting place is just investigating everybody who went to a Epstein party. And you can narrow it down from there. If they're innocent, they'll be proven to be innocent, and then we can move on. But to act like it's inherently wrong for them to be investigated in the first place is weird, because if they're not investigated, how would you know they're not involved? You know what I mean? It's really crazy to be like, hey, we don't need all this scrutiny. Wouldn't full accountability clear their names faster? I mean, I can understand, like, if you are innocent, you're just like, oh, I hate that I'm being put into this or whatever. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, it feels weird to be like, the implication that Lizzo is saying here is that there shouldn't be any investigation into these people. A little bit.
Halloween parties, regular parties. And so now they're saying Mom Donnie's mom, who's a filmmaker, they're like, oh, she's on the Epstein list because she was on a guest list for Ghislaine Maxwell's like showing of a political film once. Hey.
Like, she's not wrong about this, right? Like, this does not imply that like that his mom is like a pedophile. Right? But I'm not going to be like, well, we shouldn't investigate her because I don't think it's relevant. You know what I mean? It could be relevant. I don't freaking know. I don't know. We're talking about a national government spending corruption conspiracy that is going out of its way to hide how deep it goes in the level of governance. Connections with princes, right? With princes and politicians and presidents and former presidents. Like, I personally don't want to leave any stone unturned. So yeah, I don't think that like it's right to be like, oh, Zora Mamdani was in the Epstein files and she's complicit in Epstein's crimes or whatever. But like, an investigation should turn up what involvement everybody in the files have had, and the people who've had very heavy involvement should be investigated further. Like, this isn't crazy.
You're distracted. You just want Mom Donnie to be a bad guy, or his mom. A girl can go to a movie premiere. You think Ghislaine Maxwell woke up every single day trafficking children? No.
I mean,
we're losing.
Maybe, who knows? Yeah, it's no. She's not incorrect. She's not incorrect. Like, there was like Diddy did have regular parties, right? I'm sure Epstein also had regular parties. Like, most days probably, like, but like, is every single person in the Epstein files like or named in the files directly illegal? Probably not, right? But like, she's not incorrect, but now is not the time. This is true. This is correct. Ghislaine likely had traffic on her mind often. Yeah, very, very, very openly so, right? I think the worst part is that like Ghislaine probably used, and Epstein probably used the innocuous regular parties that they had to find more victims. You know what I mean? Which is why you can't leave any stone unturned. They were using the regular parties that they had to find and traffic victims to the bad parties. Right? So yeah, does it suck that Mamdani's mom got caught in the crossfire and is getting a lot of scrutiny now? Sure. But like, would it give the rest of us some peace of mind if the investigation happens and she was proven to be cleared of this? Right? But also, some other people who were at the parties were not cleared of it. Because how would you know? Right? Who makes the decision of like who is worthy to be investigated and who doesn't and who's not? I would like every stone to be unturned so we see all the information. It's all laid out. Right? So that the actual people don't actually get away and sneak under the radar.
The plot.
And also, was anybody asking what Lizzo's opinion on this was? Genuinely? Was anybody like, man, I really want to know what Lizzo has to say about the Epstein files? I don't trust the FBI to do this. Sure, but like, I'm not going to be like, okay, so they shouldn't investigate or we shouldn't hold people accountable, you know? I also don't trust any administration or any Justice Department or any FBI to actually hold the people accountable. This is why I don't talk about it. Right? This is why I don't talk about it, because I don't think it's going to happen with it. You don't see me coming out here and being like, well, let me just defend the people who are in the files real quick. Right? Because I don't know. I don't know Mamdani's mom. I don't know Jay-Z. You know, I don't know these people. Could they be into some nefarious stuff? Maybe. I don't freaking know. They should be investigated for it. It says Ja Rule. What does Ja Rule think?
And it's just like the American people.
Death. That's the only option.
In the comments, I knew she was wrong. Jay-Z, I knew he was. What did it say Jay-Z did? He was there in 1996. Come on, people. Like, y'all are falling for it. It's the easiest, oldest trick in the book. And honestly, I'm losing faith in the average intelligence of the American person. Because, come on. Just because somebody's name is mentioned in a 3 million document file of a person's life who's been lived over crimes who've spanned decades, doesn't mean that every single person isn't an accomplice. He could be mentioned. He referenced Jay-Z once. He was like, oh, we could learn from Jay-Z's business model. Why are y'all... Where's the crime? Focus. Anyways, y'all.
Yeah, I don't know. Just because there's smoke doesn't mean there's fire. That's true. But I would like the fire department to show up regardless. It's kind of my answer to that analogy. You know? Just because there's smoke doesn't mean that there's fire. Right? But like, the fire department should still show up just in case, you know? The fire department should still show up just in case. I'm not risking it. Yeah, just because you're mentioned in the Epstein files does not inherently mean you're guilty. But I think maybe you should still be investigated. You know, maybe people should look a little deeper, right? An investigation can be as far as like looking into the context of the emails or of the documents, you know? This is a conspiracy that is like so deeply embedded into the high level of political power in the world that like you don't get off scot-free just because you weren't like directly just because you were mentioned once. I think you need to be looked at just to see, just in case. Just in case. That's it. That's my take on the Lizzo take. Honestly, that's not as bad as I thought people were going to say it was. She just couldn't properly articulate what her issue was, in my personal opinion. And so it came across as a defense of the people on the list. You know? But like, again, time and place. Time and place. Like you're white knighting for freaking Jay-Z. He doesn't need your white knighting. You know? Oh, Jay-Z is seen as a pedophile. Oh no. The Diddy comment was crazy though. Yeah. Yeah, being like, yo, Diddy had normal parties too. I'm like, did you go to those, Lizzo? Just asking for a friend. It's just weird. It's like if somebody was like, yo, Trump is a pedophile. And you're like, your response is like, yeah, but he also had adult relationships. Okay. That doesn't make him not a pedophile. Cool. Cover this, cover this. Cover this. Let's see. Did D'Angelo post his new video yet? Not yet. Okay, we'll wait for that. Oh, close the wrong one.
One of the largest financial.
Spoke, you said that you weren't.
I also wanted to show this as well.
King, you were president. There were only. Last time we spoke, you said that you weren't king. You were president. There were only certain things you could do unilaterally. As time goes on, 1,000 deportations on average a day. People are wondering, and our Twitter feeds and Facebook feeds. That's the question everybody asks. Won't you at least consider unilaterally freezing deportations for the parents of deferred action kids?
Yeah. Here's the problem that I have, Jose, and I've said this consistently. My job in the executive branch is supposed to be to carry out the laws that are passed. Congress has said, here's the law when it comes to...
Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. Cool. Cool. I'm sorry. If you defend Obama on this, you have no... Or, okay, I won't say no. You have very little leeway to criticize Trump. I'm sorry. What's Trump? Trump is just passing the laws that was, or enforcing the laws that were passed. That's all he's doing. It's the law. The Congress passed the law. He's just enforcing the law.
Those who are undocumented, and they allocate a whole bunch of money for enforcement. And what I have been able to do is to make a legal argument that I think is absolutely right, which is that given the resources we have, we can't do everything that Congress has asked us to do. What we can do is then carve out the DREAM Act folks, saying young people who have basically grown up here are Americans that we should welcome. We're not going to have them operate under a cloud, under a shadow. But if we start broad...
But like, yeah, why can't you do that for their parents? It's not that much bigger of a lift.
That, then essentially I would be ignoring the law in a way that I think would be very difficult to defend legally. So that's not an option, and I do...
Sure, thanks, bro. Thanks. He's saying, you don't understand. We need to deport the parents of the kids brought here illegally. We have to do it. We need to do it. It's imperative that we do it. He's not saying that he can't do it. He's just saying that, like, he doesn't want to do it. That's it.
Get a little worried that, advocates of immigration reform start losing heart and immediately thinking, well, somehow there's an out here. If Congress doesn't act, we'll just have the president sign something and that'll take care of it and we won't have to worry about it. what I've said is that there's a path to get this done, and that's through Congress. And right now, everybody should be focused on making sure that that bill that's already passed out of the Senate hits the floor of the House of Representatives. It's not as if the votes are not there. Right. The votes are there. The only thing that's preventing it is, the Speaker Boehner's decided that he doesn't want to call it right now.
I love that. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? Where like Trump gets in office and he just does whatever he wants to with no oversight, and no one holds him accountable because he gets to run again 4 years later. But the Democrats are just powerless and they don't have any power. And there's like, oh well, like listen, we could do this technically, but like, have you considered that it would be, kind of boring? And we actually don't want that, so we're not gonna do it. And liberals don't understand how like this here sets the stage for Donald Trump to come in 2016, right? Biden to continue what Obama's doing here, and then Donald Trump to do what he's doing here now. It sets the stage for this. You wouldn't have Donald Trump now without Obama and the Democrats ceding ground on this. They have determined at this moment, 12 years ago, that they are refusing to fight against the tide shifting, against like pro-immigrant sentiment, if you want to call it that. Right? To him, that's broadening the scope too much to say that you won't deport the parents of the kids brought into the U.S. illegally. You know what I mean? You won't stop the deportation of the parents of the dreamers. Love that. Love that. I did also want to watch these two videos, but I might have to save it.
There's this one guy.
Hey guys, please hit like on the video as it helps the channel and the algorithm. If you want to support more content like this.
All right, Tectone, Twitch's most abusive liar, and then the Tectone court docs exposed. Especially with the update that happened recently. But the question is, do I want to do it today? Or do I want to do it tomorrow? What update? Oh, he lost the lawsuit. That's the update. I haven't talked about it yet. Right, so this is just like the lead up. This is like the entire like lead up to oh wait, is Hasan multi-streaming?
In any case, okay, the memes are back. So I get off this 15-hour
Dang,
flight.
You want to be me so bad. Anyway. Gaming now, this tomorrow. I have school tomorrow. Rough. We cover how Coleman Domingos looks like Joe Jackson in the Michael Jackson movie. I did not. I did see it pop up on my feed. I did not cover it though. Time for more streamers and commentary. No, it's kind of hot. So I might head out because I need to get some food. I'm starving. Short stream because I started a little bit late today. But yeah. We paid you for the patent pending SDAB dual stream meta. Exactly. Any final thoughts? Yeah. I think that caused it. Thanks for being here, chat. We'll do something for Black History Month. I'll figure something out. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. I don't know yet. And that's it. Then I'll catch you on the flip side. Not on Twitch much these days, but when I saw Hasan fall this CCP propaganda, it was really disappointing. That's funny. Red Cloud win. Anyway, I'm gonna go get some food. I'll probably make some food. And then I'll probably yeah. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Bye, YouTube chat.